All right, we are back. IRL Street Epistemology. I'm still here in Naples, Florida, and I'm at a new park today, Cambier Park. I don't know how you say it. And I'm joined by Mark from Being Reasonable. Here's Mark.
Hey, Reed. Good to see you. Who was that?
And I just saved my umbrella.
What happened?
Hang out for
That
a
was
second,
weird.
Mark, while I fix something. I'll get it in a second.
I'll do it for you. You have to take this.
I'll get it in a second.
Is it a gust of wind? Yep. That's when you do a live broadcast. Looks like it's a pretty busy day there. With some people.
Okay, I think I fixed them. I had them like angled down, which makes them kind of like a sail. It had no breeze until we just started streaming.
Yeah, okay, so I wonder what happened. It just...
All right, now there's more wind coming. Do I even need shade? There's enough trees around here. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I need some new umbrellas anyway. I want something really sturdy, just big over the middle here. That would be nice.
Yeah. Did you haul all your equipment down from California, or you just got new stuff?
Yeah, I had my car shipped.
Right.
And I just stuck it all in there.
Gotcha.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
What I can do is put that umbrella behind me, and I'm sitting on it. That might help. I'll just do that. One moment.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see how that works. Yeah, it's a new park. I don't know how well it's going to do.
Seems like it's. I mean, I hear it's pretty busy. Sounds.
I mean,
busy
it's
enough.
really busy, but I am a little bit out of the way. They were kind of charging for the main section of the art show, so I wanted to be out of the way. We're asking for donations.
Yeah, Jeff. Oh, Jeff is asking to join.
I posted the link in the chat. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Reed.
What's going on?
Just checking you out today, seeing what's going on.
Hi, Jeff.
Cool. Dealing with umbrella and shade problems right now.
So, did you say it's Bill?
I'm sorry.
Your name right above me.
Oh, hey, I'm Mark. Good to meet you.
Mark. Okay, yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen you. Yeah, I've seen you on lots of the review videos.
Well, appreciate you watching. Where you out of, Jeff?
I live right outside of Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh, you're semi close to me. I'm in North Carolina.
I'm from North Carolina, Goldsboro.
Oh, sure. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm in like Hillsboro. Outside Durham, Chapel
Yep,
Hill.
yep. No,
Yeah.
exactly. My niece owns, and her husband own Bird's Barbecue in Durham. So if you're ever there, go check them out.
Which barbecue?
Birds, Byrds.
I don't know that one. I thought I would know.
It's a real small, in more kind of a downtown area of Durham, but
Cool.
yeah.
I like good barbecue.
I used to. I've gone pescatarian now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's probably healthier.
Yeah, I lost a good 15 pounds at least. I'm still working on a few more.
Oh, good for you. So, have you been involved in any of the videos? Have we seen you?
I've actually been on Reed's channel a few times. He let me do a remote SE session with a young lady who had a claim about sex being a spectrum. So I SE'd her on that. I've been on Discord.
Nice.
I've got my own channel. I've got one video posted of
Oh, I'll have to join your channel then.
it's Honest Inquiry. Yeah.
All right. I'll look it up right now.
I'm nowhere in the league of you guys. I'm still learning.
So am I. Here we are. Honest inquiry. There's more than one. Let's see. There it is. Gotcha. Cool. I'll check it out.
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah.
So, Reed, why did you relocate to Florida?
Temporarily, while my roof on my condo building is getting completely reconstructed. They're just now jackhammering right above where I sleep during the day.
Why cross country?
It's just where my parents are.
Oh, I got you.
Naples is a nice area.
Yeah, nice weather this time of year too.
Do you fish or ski
No.
or something?
Just been going to the gym a bunch.
That's good.
So, Mark, I saw you have a premiere video scheduled coming up soon, a Aporia documentary. What is that about?
Yeah, so all those little short little SE videos from the Mind Body place convention that I went to, I edited them together to make like a little doc. And so when I went there, I made a point to ask questions of people in very similar ways, so that when I can kind of splice it all together and put everybody's response together. I think it made for an interesting video, and I can send you a link. But
Yeah.
I like doing that stuff, so we'll see.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing that.
Yeah. Is anybody around you, or is it?
So a few people are, yeah. They're starting to walk by.
Oh, good.
But it's mainly this main section over here. There's
It
a
helps to have,
playground right here.
it helps to have a busker.
Oh, what?
A busker?
Busker? Oh, I need one.
Yeah.
And I need some topics too. What should I talk about?
Well, where you are, let's see, in Florida, you might have certain topics that might be more prevalent, maybe.
Maybe. Hello, anybody want to do a podcast? I'll be here all day. We'll see.
Do you find that people are more gun shy, talking about their beliefs where you are now, as opposed to LA?
I don't know. Just now starting. Oh, wind's picking up. I think I'm okay.
I was thinking about the SE that you do, with you're sort of attempting I guess calling it a game show is probably not the right thing to call it. What are we calling that, what you
Steel
do?
or straw thing?
Yeah. Right. This, kind of made me think that it'd be kind of cool to have two people, like how you're sitting now, but to have two people kind of facing each other with basically opposing beliefs, and the SE person sort of acts as the moderator who kind of interprets questions.
Yeah, like a moderated form of essay.
So that doesn't devolve into a debate where people sort of stick to your game plan.
Yeah, it'd be nice if each side couldn't even see or hear each other.
Wow,
It could
yeah,
only-
right.
Could only be mediated through the SE person.
Right. Yeah. Take the person out of it. So they're just engaging with the belief. I like that.
But then you're just moderating a debate.
Well, yeah, I was just trying to see how like the SEer could change what they're saying into a question.
Or the SEer can request the person to ask questions on each side.
Yeah.
Or switch roles, just facilitate someone doing SE with someone else.
Or maybe each person sitting at the table has their own SE advocate.
Yeah.
Like their mediator.
I wonder how long this art show is going to go for. Oh, I think they're starting to break down.
What kind of art? Just everything, I guess.
Looks like paintings, photographs, sculptures, bunch of stuff. It's really big. Oh my gosh, it goes all the way down there. It's all the way over there.
Looks pretty big. Are you in the market?
For art? Not really.
How can I put you
Take down this.
into this painting? So Jeff, Charleston's definitely a nice area. Some great restaurants there for sure.
Yeah, it's nice. Been here for 17 years.
Just a beautiful town. We stayed
we
actually
like
at
it.
Charleston, and that's a beautiful place. Goodness.
Yeah, I live right outside in a little town called Somerville.
Not familiar with that one. So am I hearing
Good topics.
Oh yeah.
You hear a swing set?
Yeah, is that what I'm hearing? A swing set, yeah.
Yeah, squeaky swing set over there. Apparently there's some like StreamYard background music I can play, but I can't hear it myself. So we'll try this one.
You cannot hear that?
No. Is that good? Sound good?
It's like
Video game music.
Okay.
I typed this as poolside music.
How about this one? Feeding the ducks. I have no idea what that would be.
Kind of a smooth, cool jazz.
Okay.
A little bit of a hip hop beat to it.
Oh.
Drum machine and claps.
How about this one? Night driving.
That's pretty cool.
It's groovy.
Piano. So my son knew that I wanted to do a YouTube channel, and he got me this for Christmas.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
That's a good
Yeah,
name for a channel too.
yeah. I was thinking about that actually, and so I'm not quite sure how to use it, incorporate it, maybe take it out, kind of like read sign there. This is
Yeah. Yeah, they're breaking down.
I wonder if you need to offer. Maybe these things would help. I was thinking maybe we should offer swag of some sort.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know. What do people want? Toasters,
hats, baseball caps are always cool.
caps.
T-shirts.
The street epistemology bibs are pretty cool.
Hope I didn't find some ants. I think I'm okay.
Oh,
You're having a hard time there today, Reed. Umbrella and the noise and the swings and ants.
No.
yeah. Expecting the alligator next.
Chill.
God's getting back at you because you're an atheist.
Wow. I might go into the night because there's this portable light as well over here. You can see that right there.
Your light? Oh,
There's a big light right here connected to a generator. You can't see the generator, but there's a light here. So I assume this might go into the night.
pet food.
Yeah. I'm gonna go around 6.
So how long are you going to be in Naples for before you return, you think?
Until mid-March. My friend is getting married in a town maybe an hour and a half north of here. And then I'm going on a trip to Vail for skiing. And then I'm going back to LA for a few days before the reverse Q&A tour starts.
Yeah. Any updates on that?
think they're still solidifying some dates. They've got maybe 4 or 5 locked in right now. But it's exciting.
Yeah.
So, Reed, I checked out some of your claims that you have online. I found one pretty interesting. I think that you were fairly confident that the COVID vaccine was developed in a lab. Is that right?
The vaccine? I think it was. Yeah.
I mean, not the vaccine. I meant the virus. I mean, COVID.
Yeah.
Developed. That's an interesting claim.
Or escaped from a lab accidentally.
Lab leak hypothesis.
Lab leak hypothesis. Yeah.
Where do you put your confidence on that, Reed?
I think I'm close to like 85 on that.
85 that it was
That it was a lab leak.
Oh, that it was a lab leak. Really? 85%.
Yeah, that was the one that surprised me when I saw it. I'm like,
What's the primary reason for the belief?
I tried to map this out on Miro. Let me try to find some premises. I wonder if I can share my screen.
Should be able to in StreamYard.
Maybe I can just give it to you, Mark, or you're
I
not.
can share it.
Do you have the option to share?
I think I do. It says share. Yeah, give it to me. How are you gonna send it to me?
I'll put it in the private chat here.
I see it. Let's see if I can share this.
Yeah, I don't have the share option on my iPad here.
Share window or screen.
Can you share a Chrome tab?
See, that's the problem. Okay, I'm gonna have to. It popped up in the wrong browser.
Or you can share it as a window, whatever.
It's doing the wrong one. I'll show it there. Oh, okay, gotcha. I think I can do this. Yeah, I think I can do this.
you have it yet.
Well, it's trying. I think I'll get it. Here we go. Just keeps on wanting to share the wrong thing. Let's try this. Just trouble.
Are you on Chrome now?
Yeah. I am.
You know, I can't open StreamYard in Chrome. I have to go to Safari on my iPad for some reason. It won't let me do it in Chrome.
I assume Mark is not on an iPad.
No. All right, let me, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to, back in 2 seconds. All right. Can you see it? Nice.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. This is my first time looking at this. So,
Yeah, zoom in down there and so go to the claim up there in the top.
mm-hmm.
Can you see my cursor?
No,
Yeah, the hand.
that's
Yeah, I
me.
see.
That's me. So you're at 85, David. Person named David. Let's see what you got.
Oh, I
here.
was talking with David on Zoom. I don't know. I forgot who he was.
Let's see. Here are your counters. Extremely rare.
Put your confidence on here.
Yeah, I'm just reading what you got. If
Have
right.
you had anyone yet?
Not yet. Just waiting. You want to do one? But I usually would like to get permission from someone's parents if they're under 18. That would be ideal. Unless we're talking about something mundane.
Are these people on here like doing it as well?
Yeah, I'm streaming it to my second channel, and they're hanging out with me.
Lucas. Lucas.
Anyway,
All right, so
Yeah, make them do it. It's a podcast.
hang on.
okay.
What like? What are you talking about?
Whatever people want to talk about, it's not so much about what, but why, and how we can know one way or the other.
Mason, do it. Or no, Nate, you do it. You're the most intelligent. Yeah, you're so invested in it. We've been here like 5 times. You should just let us back here. Keep on rolling, go back. I want to know if you had it.
Where'd Mark go?
I'm here. Oh, you're not seeing me?
It's a black screen for me.
You're frozen, Mark. Your video's frozen.
Can I do one?
Okay.
Want to do it?
Yeah.
Sweet. Cool. Feel
Like,
free to
What
sit down.
Any topic. Whatever you want to talk about, you talk about.
Don't be dumb. Be smart. Guys, sit here. Who sit here?
Welcome. Yeah, you can sit there. That may be connected. It may not be. You can turn it off and turn it back on. How's it going? Let me put this back on. Can you hear yourself now?
Yeah.
Nice. Sweet. So what's your first name?
Mason.
Mason. Gotcha. My name is Reed. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Reed.
Yeah, you guys locally from here?
Yeah.
Nice. Which school do you go to?
I go to Gulfview.
Gulfview?
Yeah.
Sweet. And y'all are still in high school, I assume? Or not even that?
No.
What grade you in?
I'm in 8th grade.
8th grade.
Yeah.
Cool. What grade are y'all in? 9th? Okay.
The rest are 8th.
8th. All right.
Right.
Sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I do here is like to chat with people about whatever they want to talk about. I try to practice this way of having conversations called street epistemology.
Okay.
It's like a way of asking questions to help people think through certain claims and help us collaborate on how we can know one way or the other whether it's true or false.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you like to talk about today? It could be anything from politics to social issues, whatever.
How TikTok influences young children and how like it affects them and what they do.
The influence of TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, is TikTok more of a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a bad thing because you see like underage girls doing like these dances and stuff,
Yeah.
and there's adults that view that, and then it's kind of weird.
TikTok has like almost a child pornography type problem.
Well, I wouldn't say that it's not that bad because obviously they're not like nude, but it's the dances they're doing is kind of explicit, and like the point is to like show off their body, you know.
Yeah.
And so I just don't think that's right, and that TikTok shouldn't allow that on their website.
So there should be certain restrictions on the content on TikTok.
Definitely.
And one example is these types of underage girls dancing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's also like 7-year-olds thinking their sexuality, they think they're like bi or whatever, and they're only like 7 years old, and they don't even know what it really means.
Right.
Yeah.
Like young children are starting to talk about sexual and sexuality stuff, even though they are not
Yeah.
getting through puberty yet. So how do they know what that's about?
Yeah, and I think they just learned that through TikTok, social media, and whatnot, and that that sort of stuff should be like banned, you know, because it's not okay. Like I didn't even know what that was when I was their age, and that they shouldn't be growing up like that. And yeah.
Gotcha. Certain ideas shouldn't be discussed on TikTok because it might influence children.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so ideas or certain content, these are some things that might be better off not being on TikTok.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Ideas or content. How would that, like, you know, is that a good thing to not have certain things on TikTok?
Yeah, I think if they don't allow that, it would be a good thing, and kids for future generation would have a different mindset on things, and I think they would have a better chance of having a normal childhood and better time growing up, and it might be good for them in the future.
They would, if they weren't exposed to those things, they would have a better time growing up.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
What is the main? Let's focus on maybe one thing that we think should not be on TikTok. What's the worst thing? You've mentioned two. Are there others?
No, it's just there's a lot of stuff. Just in general, it's just not okay. It's not a good app. It's just a bad influence on a lot of people and how they view things. And I just think it's really like affected kids. And like ever since TikTok came out, all they talk about is, oh, TikTok this, TikTok that, and it influences everything they do. Like the stuff they see, they do it, and then it's just a part of daily life. And
yeah, I guess if we answered this broad question, what age should anyone be allowed or should it be recommended for someone to get on social media?
I think it's definitely 15 or older, 14.
That should just be a general rule in society, not like a law, but just a recommendation.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyone below the age of 15 should not be on social media.
Well, not social media. They can be. I'm sure they can have like Instagram and stuff like that, but TikTok is just. I see, or a lot of people see. There's a lot of people on TikTok, and some of them are like not good people, and those people, the kids that see those people, and then they copy them, and then that has a bad influence on them.
Okay, yeah. So I guess when should children be allowed to be on the internet?
Yeah.
When should they be allowed to be on social media broadly? And when should they be allowed to be on just particular social media platforms?
Yeah.
Some might be worse than others, like TikTok might be worse than Instagram,
Yeah.
I'm hearing. So we'll focus on TikTok. You're saying 15 for TikTok, or is that?
Yeah, like
age?
14, 15 years or older.
14.
Yeah.
Okay. And that allows them to. What are the benefits of not being on TikTok?
They won't be seeing as much of that kind of stuff that would influence kids right now. And if they have that, I feel like there wouldn't be as many young children seeing this stuff, and it would be appropriate. And then they would have like they would have to like reside to like YouTube and stuff like that, which is obviously more. It's better
regulated.
Yeah.
Okay. What would need to be true in order for it to be okay for kids as old as 10 to 13, 14 to be on TikTok? Would TikTok need to change in some way?
Yeah, definitely. I think they would have to have like stricter banners, like how they like what's on their platform. I think they need to pay closer attention to that and what people are doing, because people find ways to like borderline the ban like requirements. So like say like the ban requirements are this and this, they know how to like edge it so it's barely on that.
Yeah. I guess one policy would be, if you're a certain age, then you can't see these certain things on the app.
Yeah.
Although, like, how do they check who's actually what age they are? That's hard to say.
Yeah.
So maybe just a general societal norm of not allowing children on social media and TikTok in particular.
Yeah.
14.
Yeah.
All right. Is that a good thing to do, to have that norm? Do you think we're at that norm right now, or are we away from that norm?
I think we're away from it currently, because they do that stuff. They do make sure like your age and how old are you, and people lie about their age obviously so they can use the app. But
Like, I don't
Yeah.
know, what age do you, like, your generation get cell phones at this point?
Oh, really? Like 8, like first grade.
8? Wow.
Yeah.
You get a cell phone at 8?
I didn't get a cell phone at 8. I got a cell phone in 5th grade.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's when I started going out with friends and started hanging about.
Uh-huh.
And it was just for my parents to communicate with me.
Yeah.
But kids are obviously getting cell phones at a younger age, and the purpose of their phone isn't to communicate. They just use it for social media. And
Yeah, I guess I wonder what percentage of the population who are between the ages of like 8 and 14 have cell phones that have access to the internet and social media at this
Yeah.
point.
yeah,
I wonder what that number is.
it's probably a lot.
Is it over 50%, you think?
Over 15%?
50, like half.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You think so?
I do think so, yeah. There's a lot of kids at a young age with cell phones that are capable of accessing the internet and stuff.
And we would like a world where that's 0%?
Yeah,
0%?
yeah. Or at least below 50. Hopefully.
Yeah. Or maybe at least just does not have access to the internet, just could only call people. I don't know, that might be a thing.
Yeah, just calling people.
I had a flip phone
Yeah.
starting in about your age.
Well,
But I had to pay for text messages.
but before I even had a phone, I had this like little watch thing called a gizmo,
Oh, really?
and like all you could do was call. And it was like an Apple Watch, but it was like bigger. But
That's all it would do, just call someone?
yeah, and then you could just change the noises that would for people to call. But yeah, all you could do was call.
Could you like talk through it or just hear it?
You just talk through it, yeah.
Wow.
It was cool.
Okay. So we want a world where fewer children are on social media like TikTok.
Yeah.
How can we get to that world?
I think parents just need to follow their children better and see what they're doing. Cause when I see these TikToks, I'm like, where are these kids' parents? What are they doing? And I think that would definitely help if the parents just paid closer attention to what their kids are on, and how they should properly use their phones.
What does that look like? Like taking their phone, looking through like the history of something, what apps they're using, their app usage?
looking through the history, like what they're doing on TikTok and whatnot, and even like not even giving them a smartphone at all, just give them a flip phone or one of those watches or something.
Okay.
And yeah.
If we had this policy for the next decade, what could we see that would think, oh, this is a really good thing to put in place?
I think if the next 10 years, if we did this, I think it would be, the generation would grow up to be, like, their minds would be healthy, because social media does affect your mental illness and your mental capacity, But, yeah, if they didn't have social media, I feel like we would have a decade worth of kids with healthy brains and would be socially acceptable, because then they would talk to other people, and without social media they wouldn't always be on their phones. They would be out talking, doing whatever. And if they didn't have all that for an entire decade, they would be, well, normal, but
Normal.
yeah.
Just better social development, social skills?
Yeah,
potentially?
pretty much, yeah.
Just better overall?
Yeah.
All right. Hypothetically, if we had that policy for the next 10 years, what could happen that could make us think, oh, this is probably not a good idea to put this policy in place?
Well,
Hypothetically.
if it wasn't, if people did disagree with it, I don't know. Well, kids may not be able to like express themselves, because I understand that some people express themselves on social media, and so I guess that could be like the only downside to it. But otherwise, I can't really think of anything else that would.
Yeah, like social media is one way of having self-expression.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're trading off between potential bad social effects versus social self-expression that might be beneficial. Those might play a factor.
Yeah.
You know, anything else that could happen, or we could learn about.
What goes around, like sometimes social media delivers fake news and false information, like whether it's like politics or something happened to so and so, or like false facts in general. Kids don't know if it's like real or true or not, and so they're going to see that, and then they're going to think it's true, and it's not true. They're learning false information, and that could be bad because then they're at a young age, and then they're just going to remember that, and then they're going to go the rest of their lives without knowing that, and then they're going to be uninformed of what's going on around them.
Yeah. So like, one potential future has children who are misinformed
Yeah.
about stuff, maybe lied to,
Yeah.
and one future may have where children just didn't learn as much about anything, misinformation or accurate information.
Yeah.
And we're thinking the world where they didn't really learn hardly anything, or at least not as much because the internet is not available or social media is not available.
Yeah.
That would be a better world.
Yeah. Well, not if the internet wasn't available, because the internet does help you with stuff. I'm just saying that there are websites and people that spread out this false information, but places like Google obviously are helpful resources to help you like know like what foods are healthy, or like where this is, or how to do this. And yeah, but places like Wikipedia, they're known for false information and whatnot. And then especially social media platforms, they probably have the most false information, and that's like where all like the kids are. That's what they look at, and they see that, and then yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at a certain age, they'll be able to have a cell phone with everything available. Like, I would like to have a world where children, even young adults, are really get some like good education about how to assess claims and
Yeah.
their validity, and to try to figure out if they're true or not. This is kind of part of what I'm doing here, to try to help people think through whatever and try to test our ideas to try to figure out if it's true or not. So no matter what platform you're on, what you're seeing, you maybe will be less influenced by misinformation. You can maybe look into it.
Yeah, definitely.
What are some of those things or do you think is a good way to like check for the truth of something or the falsity of something? How would you go about if you saw like something on your phone and you wasn't sure if it was true or not? How would you figure that out?
I would probably ask somebody, or read like a book about it, maybe, if you could find one.
Yeah.
But definitely asking other people is like probably one of the better ways to go about it. And I learned in school, like if you look at the websites and like what they end in, like .com, .org, that is a good sign to see if it's like reliable or something.
Okay. What are the more reliable websites if they end in something?
The .com, the orgs, and there's three. That's like the only two I remember, but there was one other, and it was
.gov?
Yeah, gov, yeah.
.gov is more reliable?
Yeah, because it's the government.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else to check the truthness of something?
No, I think that's it.
Nice.
All right.
Cool. Thanks, Mason. You got a question?
Yeah, like TikTok trends.
Yeah.
Say like when people would steal stuff from schools. Remember that one?
Oh,
Oh, there's like harmful trends that happen,
Yeah.
and that causes bad behavior.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's another one, yeah.
hmm
Another bad side effect of TikTok,
Yeah. And people think it's funny. Yeah.
and then people copy it.
I mean, it's funny, don't get me wrong, but it's bad.
Right. Cool. Well, thanks, Mason. Anything else to chat about?
No, I think I'm good.
Sweet.
Sweet, thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
Appreciate it.
you too. Have a good one.
You too. Nice. Cool. I'll be here for a little bit longer if y'all want to stop on by.
All right.
Have a good day.
Want me to turn this off?
You can leave it on.
Have a good day.
You too. Oh, sweet.
Yeah, you were there for like 6 years.
That was nice.
Yeah, he was very mature and
Yeah, this is a little bit better. We'll see how it goes, though. I picked the one spot where there is sun, but there's so much shade around. Yeah, very cool. Okay. Was that music still going? Shit.
yes, it is. It's been going the whole time you're having the conversation.
That's it.
Damn, yeah. Feel free. Yep. All right, I got another one. Welcome.
Welcome,
Thanks. What's your name?
Jack.
Jack. Gotcha. My name is Reed. All right, so cool. Have y'all been walking around the art show? What's been some good art so far?
It's like these glass animals people made. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else we saw. Photography. I like photography. There's a neat exhibit behind you.
Mm-hmm.
That's about what stood out to me.
The photography.
Yeah.
Nice. How often do they do this kind of thing in this park?
Every weekend, I'd say.
Every weekend?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think it's every weekend.
There's something's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet. Yeah. I had no idea this was gonna happen.
Yeah. Do you do this often?
I usually do this in Los Angeles, but I'm on just extended vacation here for a while, and just had my stuff shipped here for the time being.
It's pretty cool.
And figured this park would be a good one to go to.
Do you like Star Wars?
I do.
I like Star Wars as well. What's your favorite movie?
Empire Strikes Back.
Why is that?
Just I don't know, what do I like about it? The sequences of, like, the Hoth battle sequence was great, and just the twist was great. One of the best twists in cinema history,
Yeah.
and or just revelation, and the action, the acting, the visual effects at the time, the score, love it all.
Yeah, I can see how I can't appreciate how you enjoy it because you didn't know that Darth Vader was Luke's father, which I already knew that when I watched the movie, so I can't appreciate that plot twist.
Did you watch from episode 1, like from starting at 1, or how did that work for you?
Yeah, I just bounced around because my dad would have it on occasionally,
Oh, okay.
and then I forget when, but I did start from the fourth one they made, so which is Phantom Menace, and then I just watched from there.
Right, the fourth one they made, yeah.
Yeah.
The episode 1, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then started from there, and now we have 9,
Yeah.
plus a bunch of spin-offs.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been watching the Disney Plus shows?
Yeah, I have.
Mm-hmm.
Book of Boba. I like Book of Boba.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
I did, yeah.
Do you think Cad Bane's gone forever, or do you think he's still alive?
Who is that one?
He's the blue guy.
Oh, that guy. No, he's not done.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't think so.
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Because in the ending, when he died, his wrist comm is going off. And then, have you ever seen the cartoon show, The Clone Wars?
No.
Well, so in the Clone Wars, he has this wrist comm and he can call for his droid.
Uh-huh.
So I believe he was calling for his droid to save him.
Oh, okay.
So he won't be dead.
Okay. And then that other guy, that Cadman shot, like he was in that healing machine thing at the end.
Was that the Wookiee? Or
There was the other guy that Kanban shot at in the duel. That was an end credit scene where he was in the machine getting healed.
oh,
the guy with the gray hair.
Yeah, the sheriff.
Yeah, that sheriff guy.
Mm-hmm.
So he's probably fine.
I hope so.
Yeah, he was cool. But yeah, anyway, want to talk about something? Any topic that's on your mind that's important that you're wondering about if it's true or not?
I can't think of one right now, but how about you? Do you have anything you want to talk about?
I'm open.
Alright, I'll touch up on the TikTok my friend was talking about, how in the decade you said what could change. I believe that, I guess, generation could be smarter. Because a lot of people, they're time consumed on TikTok. They spend a lot of time on TikTok instead of extracurricular activities.
If time was restricted from social media like TikTok, people might be smarter.
Yeah.
Because they would be doing other more productive things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's what I believe.
Yeah, that's one potential outcome we could find to change our confidence about that.
Yeah.
Yep, that's good. Cool. So, any other tangential questions related? What is your generation wondering about and concerned about?
No, I don't really have anything else to say.
Nothing really.
No.
Sweet. Alright, well, are y'all watching on the stream?
Yeah.
Nice.
They're listening to it.
Just wanted to test it out. Cool.
Alright.
Alright, well, thanks, Jack.
Have a nice day.
Have a great day.
Wait, check. What happened?
They were all watching over there on their phone. Oh, I should have asked that, yeah. I do have a sign on my little cart over here. Are you there? Hello? Hello. Just hanging out, doing some interviews.
Cool.
Thanks.
Wait, you guys are not going to show me. I don't mean show me, but you know. You gotta have
Ooh, new Inspire reflection video. All right.
Hey, how you doing?
Just good. Just saw you posted a new video.
Yeah, it's a fun one. The Bible is insufficient evidence to believe in God.
All right. How'd that happen?
Somebody from... Hang on a sec, I've got my echo going on. Yeah, somebody from the SE community, a guy called Scott, just was looking to explore a more atheistic, positive claim. So he chose that one. Yeah, ended up being really good.
Okay, cool.
Your video is going a bit...
Yeah, I don't have the best connection here, but
Gotcha.
hopefully the audio's okay.
The new location looks good.
Yeah, it's super busy, but I'm probably not in the best spot. I didn't want to get too in the way of the art show because they might want, like, I'm sure there's like you have to pay for a spot to where
Right.
you are to do the art. So I did kind of got it out of the way.
Yeah, it looks good there. So lots of people around. I missed the beginning of the stream. I was just finishing up another video, but have you had any good ones?
Not really. A bunch of kids stopped by. We talked about Star Wars
Yeah,
on TikTok.
yeah. I'd like to explore your claim that Star Wars is not important. What's your confidence there? You did well. I think he was calling you on your Star Wars knowledge, and you rebutted well.
Okay, good. Yeah. I don't know too much about the Clone Wars lore and all that. I don't know much about that. Like the blue guy and the Boba Fett show. I watched that, but I didn't know his name.
See, there you go. That's exactly the modern day Star Wars in a nutshell. He's just the blue guy. We don't know his name. I mean, like R2-D2, man. That guy was a legend. Everybody knew R2-D2. C-3PO.
Yeah.
Everybody knew. Everybody was Han Solo or Princess Leia or Luke. And now we've got the blue guy. What was the gentleman's claim around the TikTok thing? That was where I came in.
It causes harmful effects on children. It's
Okay.
not good for them. Like there's underage girls dancing. That's no good for them. Then it also spreads just harmful stuff.
That's a good claim. Where do you stand on that?
I don't know. I want to prepare the child for the path, not the path for the child. Who knows what's going to come in the future? And if TikTok is one bad thing, like who knows what's coming? That's even going to be even worse. Like I want people to be resilient and be able to tackle whatever, handle whatever.
Yeah, I guess it's analogous, and it was a place where you went to on that conversation. I guess it's kind of analogous to this idea of like, do we censor the internet or do we get better at critical thinking? One of those is a good long-term solution.
I know it's like critical thinking has got to be a huge part of the solution going forward.
Yeah.
If someone's interested, maybe. Hello. Doing some interviews today if you're interested. Guess not.
I like the other one where you you were saying, oh, doing some interviews, and oh, cool. Just carry it. This involves me in no way. I'm out. What time is it there for you?
Almost 5 o'clock.
Oh wow, yeah, you're getting that golden hour going on. I guess it's always golden hour there.
Yeah, my shade is not doing anything right now. I mean, might as well take it down.
I've been I've been fighting YouTube. I've tried to upload a slightly clearer version of my new logo to my channel, and for some reason I think YouTube has decided it doesn't want to update it ever, and so
That happens. It takes a while.
I just don't understand. It's just like the tiniest little. How can you upload like a 4 gigabyte movie file and it's like done in 10 minutes? Like, yeah, you can't upload a little JPEG and have it just update in real time. It's baffling to me. But yeah, I sort of took the courageous move of like, okay, well, I'll just delete my logo and then hopefully it'll recognize as a new one. But it's just decided to call me I from now on. Hey.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Jeff.
Hey, Jeff. I'm Will. Nice to meet you. I think we've spoken before.
Yeah, I believe so, yeah. I think you were in maybe one of the rooms I was in one time, I thought. Maybe? I don't know.
I am nothing if not promiscuous, so it's very possible. Yeah. Yeah, I was really stoked with this new video that I did. It was a really good conversation. I really enjoy exploring those. I don't know. There was a part of it. I say in my introduction. There's a part of it where I wasn't sure if I was actually trying to challenge the epistemology, more trying to steelman Christian apologetics, which is interesting, but I don't know if that's good. SE, how would you SE the claim that the Bible is insufficient evidence to believe in God?
Well, I would like a shot at that one.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's one that I think more people would like to have a swing at than it might seem from the profundity of arguments the other way, but yeah, it was interesting. I definitely found advantage in the fact that the gentleman in question admitted quite early on that he hadn't read all of the Bible, which felt like a win. But yeah, it was interesting.
So is that a video you got coming up that you're going to post?
Yeah, I just posted it. Yeah, just pushed it out the door. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. It was really cool that he wanted to explore this claim with me.
What's your channel? I'm going to make sure I subscribe.
It's an Inspire Reflection. Thank you.
I'm Honest Inquiry if you want to find me.
Do you know what? I've tried to add as many people as I can. Let me see if I can find that. I think I may have added you. Inquiry. That's a good channel name. I like that. Have you done any? Well, I don't want to make the assumption that you're it seems like a reasonably safe assumption that most people in this community are atheists, but it's not entirely safe, I'd say.
Yeah, yeah. And I've got one SE conversation posted to my channel. Your inspiring reflection, is that it?
That's it. Oh, inspire reflection. Should have a little
Inspire.
logo.
Inspire reflection. Let's try that. Inspire reflection. Oh, I see it. Yep. Yep. Subscribe.
Yeah, I've got your chat. I've already subbed. I thought I recognized it. Yes, I remember this video.
Yeah, that's one of my very first. Actually, maybe the third or fourth that I'd videotaped, and it was the only one of any worth that I felt was decent enough to post. It wasn't horrible.
No, by no means. Yeah, the guy was pretty cool.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts, Reed? How would you swing at the claim that there is the Bible is insufficient evidence to believe in God? How would you SE that?
It's not so much about a claim about God existing, it's about the sufficiency of evidence, or that's a large part of it. So
exactly
what counts as evidence,
Mm-hmm.
and then what counts as sufficient evidence for this kind of claim? What kind of claim is a God type of claim? How does that compare to other claims? And I'd start around there.
Yeah, I made some just horrifically cheap moves to see to see how my conversation partner responded to them. Well, I pointed out that the Bible was a complex document. Oh, no, that it was complex, and that it therefore, how could he know that he's read it correctly? And I tried to create a kind of outsider test by suggesting this idea that a scholar that had spent his career studying the Bible and had concluded that it was actually good evidence to believe, as of the sort that we can imagine almost certainly does exist in the world. If I was to try to determine what was more rational, whether I should believe the scholar or my conversation partner, would I not be more rational believing the scholar? Just the worst argument from authority to have. Just felt dirty on the inside. But he ended up, I think it was useful. I definitely feel like he thought about the arguments a fair bit, and realized that because he came out with 100% confidence at the beginning, which I was also quite happy about, because that gave me some room to take a whack at the confidence a little bit. But also, there were some really interesting moments where he came out with some quite profound ways of arguing his point, which I thought were really good. Yeah, it was a fun one.
Nice. I like Doug's flying man thought experiment too.
What's that?
Doug's flying man thought experiment. It might not be a good thing to do with this type of claim, but just comparing some kind of very extraordinary claim that's not the same claim, and then just applying the evidence you have for the real claim to this new claim, one step at a time in chronological order, and just go through the quantity and quality of evidence over time and see where
it becomes ridiculous,
where they shift.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, that's kind of like the extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence argument for having a car needs to be smaller than an argument for having an invisible sports car. that can fly.
Yep.
Yeah, it was fun.
Got maybe 10 minutes before the sun goes down over a tree. That'll be nice. 10, 15. And it's like still 80 degrees out here. It's crazy.
What's that in English? 80
Oh.
degrees. Let me Google that one. Oh, 26. God damn.
27.22. Yeah.
What? We've been having storms and rain and torrential winds and freezing patches, and yeah, England's got its miserable weather on today, and for the last few days, and you're sitting out in the 26 degrees. God damn.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let my wife find out. She'll demand that we move immediately.
Yeah, I did not expect this art show to be here.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, something like this happens every weekend, though. I guess
That's cool.
I'll look up what happens next time.
Do you think it's better or worse for what you're trying to do to have these?
It should be better, but I'll probably just picked a bad spot.
How's the panacea that is Module 1 coming along?
We did another like 2-hour meeting on it today on the definition. I think we finalized the definition, but then there's just the rest of the topic around the definition. We're getting into like what criteria exactly counts as having done an essay successfully. Hi. Just hanging out doing some interviews from my podcast YouTube channel. Yep.
I don't know what actually. Did they actually run away? That was honestly, that was audio gold, because they were just like, you just said you were waiting for you. You teach it sounded like a kid, and they just said "oh," and then I just heard footsteps just getting quieter into the distance.
Yeah, it just ran away.
At least they didn't scream "stranger danger" as they were doing it. That could. Good gracious.
I don't think I do. I've got like a fiberglass one. It's pretty good.
Slightly joking aside, though, SE for kids would be a really interesting project. Is anybody thinking about that? Like, how can we? Is it possible to have a kind of watered down version of the process and steps that you could get kids into?
I think so. Yeah, at least middle schoolers.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool.
High school for sure.
There must be some people in the community that are connected to education in like those kinds of age groups.
Yeah.
It is terrifying the lack of, I don't know, it's a constant frustration, this idea that critical thinking and spotting logical fallacies and cognitive bias training is just absent from education. It just seems utterly baffling. Although, to be fair, cognitive biases are relatively new-ish. But I think critical thinking has been around for a while. Would have thought it would be in the syllabus somewhere, stuffed between a bunch of things you don't need to know. And a bunch of other things that they probably think you need to know, but ultimately will become utterly useless to you because the world will be different by the time you get there.
Okay. I did make a lightsaber duel video on YouTube, yeah, on my other channel. I uploaded it in college, but I made it in high school. And it's like 480p, like nothing.
Is this where we find out that you were a lightsaber kid? Oh shit. Alright.
Oh yeah. I also made a Halo 3 launch video vlog with some like filmmaker friends of mine, and like people love that video. I get comments about it every day. Still.
That's cool. You're more of a nerd than I suspected. This is no bad thing. Do you game much these days?
I play VR mini golf with my dad and brother once a week or so.
That feels pretty close to no.
That's a no. Very casual. I want to play a new Halo game, but...
Oh, yeah, Halo Infinite, yeah. I've never really enjoyed the Halo games. Yeah, I mean, I've been a PC gamer as a kid, so when sort of... I think Halo had a huge impact on people that have just had consoles and never really had the sort of first-person shooter experience that, you know, Halo offered, and so... But for these sort of cynical PC types, we've been playing first-person shooters for a while, so it wasn't quite the revolution. But yeah, and yeah, Halo always felt a bit spongy.
Now I'm getting like spider webs on me.
You've not been there that long.
Flying
Come
through.
on, this is purely hysterical. This is, what are you talking?
Did they like? I don't know that
They do actually. They
what's
do.
happening.
They do float in
Catch
the
the
wind. There
wind.
are there are some spiders that have special webbing that they use to essentially just abseil around. Not abseil. What am I thinking? Paraglide around. So you feel Florida is less inclined in general to this kind of thing, or I wonder if there's like a regional difference? Probably too small a sample size to really make a definitive judgment, but
yeah, hard to say. It does skew much older, this town. I think younger people are much more comfortable on camera. UCLA college kids have like no problem, and the Instagram people at Runyon Canyon have no problem. But maybe that's just an LA thing too. Yeah, Module 1 is going to be huge when it goes into testing. We'll probably do a bunch of focus group sessions and maybe even special one-off, like just the definition sessions.
yeah.
We'll make sure it's all good.
In talking about it, pretty much comes up pretty much every other day. I'm in a conversation about the definition.
Yeah.
Would you interview me?
Sure. Did your parents say it was okay?
Yeah.
How, really? Is that cool? Oh, well.
What are you doing, Lucy?
Can I get a thumbs up from someone? Is that okay? Is that okay?
What are you doing?
Where's your parents? Is that cool?
If you're okay with it.
I mean, that's fine.
Curious.
Sure, that's great. That's fine. Hello, welcome.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good.
Want to put on headphones? Do you mind if I record? Is that okay? Thanks. My camera is dead or not? It's probably dead. Dang it. Anyway, what's your name?
Luke.
Luke, gotcha. My name is Reed. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Sweet. How's your day been going so far?
Good.
Cool. Just kind of speak into that as close as you can.
Good.
There, you probably can hear yourself better now.
Yeah.
Have you been looking at all the art that's around here? What's been your favorite kind of art that you've seen so far? Pictures or sculptures, painting?
The light paint things.
The light paint things? What are those about?
It's like where this guy takes a flashlight in the dark and he wears all black and then he makes art with it.
Oh, the light painting things, yeah. Cool. Nice. What kind of stuff does he do with that? Does he make like shapes with the light and stuff?
Yeah.
Sweet. Nice. Anything else you've been seeing that's cool?
The trees?
The trees? Okay. Sweet. Well, yeah, want to talk about something?
Yeah.
On my podcast here. Try to practice this way of having conversation called street epistemology. And it's just a way of having conversation where I ask questions to help people think through something they think is the case, something that they can say is this is true or this is not true, and I'll ask questions about it. Does that sound fun? All right. So what would you like to talk about? It could be some kind of claim, something you're saying is real, maybe like, do you believe in Bigfoot or Loch Ness Monster? Any claim people have said that you're like, oh, I don't think that's true, or oh, that might be true, I don't know. Does anything like that come to mind?
God?
Okay. Want to do that? We could talk about that, sure. Really? Is that cool? So God exists? Want to talk about that? Mm-hmm. All right. How confident are you on this scale? If all the way to the right is absolutely yes, it is true that God exists, or not sure, or absolutely no, false, it does not exist. You've got one over there. You're on that side?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Okay. What is your main reason for being that confident?
Because I believe in the Bible.
The Bible? Okay. Yeah, okay. What about the Bible makes you think that God exists?
Because it was a collection of historical documents written by eyewitnesses during the time of those events.
It's a collection of documents that records eyewitness testimony?
Mm-hmm.
Eyewitnesses?
Yeah.
Okay. And you find these documents to be reliable, good sources for that kind of information about what happened in the past?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, those eyewitness accounts, they're accurate in what they say.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're accurate, then that means... And what did they say?
They said
what's something that happened in the Bible that is true, that makes you think God exists, that's reported in there?
The flood.
The flood?
Mm-hmm.
Like a global flood?
Mm-hmm.
That's something the Bible says happened in history?
Yeah.
Okay. And you believe that happened in history?
Yes.
Just as confident as that? All right. Cool. Well, what about that claim makes you think a God is real? Did the God cause the flood?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Why do you, if you found hypothetically that did not actually happen in history, I'm not saying that's the case, would that change your confidence about a God existing?
No.
It wouldn't.
Right.
So what else, what other kind of reason, or what else in the Bible makes you think it's true?
Jesus' death on the cross.
Jesus' death on the cross?
Yeah.
Okay. And
he came back.
And he came back. His resurrection. So Jesus died and was dead and then came back to life, was resurrected. And if that is true, that means that God exists?
Well, there's historical evidence.
Historical evidence. Okay. What's the best example?
The Creation Museum has a lot of stuff there.
Creation Museum? About Jesus' resurrection or other things?
Other things.
About like the blood and stuff? Alright. Even though if you found the flood actually didn't happen in the past, that wouldn't change your mind about God existing?
Right.
But potentially Jesus' resurrection, that information, if you found that did not happen in the past, would that change your mind about it? Hypothetically? No?
No.
Okay. Hypothetically, what could you learn that could change your mind about it? Anything?
No.
Nothing?
Right.
Okay. Is that a good thing to do with our beliefs? If we don't have anything that in mind that could change our mind, is that a good thing? Is that fine? Are some people in the world wrong about anything? If they were wrong about something and they also held the attitude that they could not be wrong about it, there's nothing they could see to change their mind, what would you think about that person in that situation? Would that be bad for them?
Yeah. But there is evidence that he exists.
There is? Okay. Okay. Is there evidence that could... Is this evidence good enough evidence to believe this actually happened in the past? Okay. Cool if we keep going, or is it alright? If someone came up to our table and said they knew they have this book that they found it over there, and in this book we open the page and we don't know if this book is real, if it like it records history or if it's just a made-up book, and we open the page and we found that it said someone in the past, a couple generations ago, walked up to the edge of the Grand Canyon and just flew across the Grand Canyon unaided. That's all they had to do. They just jumped and flew across the Grand Canyon. Should we believe that happened in the past because the book said so? Would you believe that? Maybe just add that question.
Probably not.
Why wouldn't you believe that?
Because they just found it like over there.
Just found it over there.
Yeah.
All right. And if we turn the page and we found that this person who flew over the Grand Canyon, it was written that 500 people saw him fly over the Grand Canyon. Would that be a good reason? Would that be enough to believe it happened?
Yeah.
You would?
I think.
Okay. You would believe someone flew across the Grand Canyon if the book said 500 people saw him? You would? Okay. All right. Is that
But
is that good enough evidence? That's good enough evidence for you?
but they don't have actual evidence, so it probably wouldn't be true.
They don't have actual evidence. That hypothetical book.
Right.
We're saying like, if the book said 500 people saw it, just like the Bible potentially said 500 people saw Jesus' resurrection body after he was resurrected. If we're going to believe the Grand Canyon flying person and Jesus, these are kind of similar things.
I don't know.
Not sure. Okay. The Bible talks about Jesus' resurrection. What is the evidence for that in the Bible? Did people say it happened?
Yeah, but
Do we know who said what happened in the Bible?
prophets?
Prophets?
Yeah.
Do we have anybody who saw Jesus' resurrected body firsthand? Like, who said, my name, saw Jesus. He did this stuff. Do we have anything like that in the Bible? We do? Okay. Alright, anyway. Probably that's fine enough to talk about. Anything else about this you want to talk about, Luke?
Mm-mm.
Okay, cool. Well, this was fun. Loved the chat. Appreciate it so much. Thank you so much. That was fun. Nice. Have a great day. That's appreciate
You
that. Yeah, have a good day.
Thank you.
Sure. That was fun. Nice.
Good things to think about.
Very good things. Yeah. Love that.
Discussion.
Sweet. Yeah.
So that's your channel then?
That is.
That's your YouTube channel? Okay.
Mhm.
I'll have to look it up. I glanced and I saw something about talking about like critical race and stuff. So.
Yeah, I get into that. Just all the interesting topics.
Yeah, awesome. Good.
Yeah, thanks.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, what do you say, bud?
Thank
Thanks
you.
a lot. Appreciate it. Have a blessed day.
Appreciate it. Yeah. Hi. I am completely open, just doing some interviews today for my podcast hobby. Okay. Oh my god.
Just wow, every
mean,
which way. How cool are those? I genuinely hope parents stroke guardians. They were awesome letting that kid do that.
They were standing right there. The mom was listening in. So, I mean, I'm making sure. Is this appropriate to talk about? She said, yeah.
Yeah, that was really good checking in and the kid was cool. You were brave to do it. Frankly, I think it's interesting. It's so weird. Firstly, I really would like to challenge your claim that Florida represents an older demographic, because literally everybody would sit opposite you. There's some evidence to go against that.
I know.
Interesting.
This is completely kids today, minors.
It's so weird though that we were literally just talking about having these conversations and what that might mean. and then one comes up. There's some great conversations in the chat about simplifying the language and some ideas around that. Like I think are definitely worth exploring. Though I mean, really difficult. I mean, at some point, that's a hard conversation for a kid to process.
I know. Yeah,
I was kind of hoping the parents would sit down and you could find a little bit more about them. And
I know. He mentioned the Creation Museum, so I assume
Oh, wow.
And
Yeah,
I
I wonder
if Cambier one or something close by.
Right. How close is that to you where you are? Oh, sorry.
No, I just say I would like to be a fly on the wall when those people come and look at Reed's total channel.
I know. I suspect maybe his dad said he looked at my channel and saw critical race theory and everything. So I assume he also saw my other videos. So if he saw some religious topic videos, he probably sent his kid to talk about it, just to have it be something that night.
Hey, good on a parent that would actually do that, right?
100%. That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is really
Because he
awesome.
said his first reason was very specific. It sounded like
Oh my God, yeah.
just coming from his parents. I'm like, holy, whoa.
Yeah, that escalated quickly. It was
yeah. I think he said collection of eyewitnesses or something.
Yeah, like testimony.
A collection
in the
of
Bible.
testimony.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, game on.
Yeah, there was this bit where you were hesitating, and then he said something, and I could just see this point where you're like, well, to hell, if he's going to say this, then I'm here.
Yeah.
I think one of the things, if we ever do think about how this might work with children of that age, then I think one of the things that has to be thought about is recalibrating success criteria, because there's only going to be so much road that you can go down, I think, in one session, especially, right? Just delivering one useful analogy or metaphor might be sufficient.
Yeah, I wondered.
Talks.
I wondered if you're. I wondered if the word hypothetical was going to be a nut for him. I didn't know if he would even know that.
Yeah, he seemed to understand. Seemed like a smart kid.
Yeah.
Certainly brave. Yeah, when the Creationist Museum came out, I was like, but of course, this is genuinely. Oftentimes when we talk to people and we ask them if they have good reasons to believe, right? This kid really does have good reasons to believe, unequivocally, right? He
has explicit reasons,
but they're good reasons from his perspective. These aren't just he has bad reasoning. He's not his parents. He needs to listen to them for almost everything that they're going to be telling him. This is, of course, assuming, and there's reason maybe to doubt this, but this is, of course, assuming that he has this belief from his parents or guardians. But assuming that he needs to believe them. It's necessary, it's important that he believes them. It's not a mistake for him to believe what his parents are telling him without question. And he's absolutely right to do so. And in any case, they're taking him to museums. He's learning from presumably educational establishments that are there to teach him things, and he's learning from those things. But
if you take that logically out to the conclusion that it's good for him to believe what his parents are saying, at what point are parents teaching something that's not true, like teaching their kids to steal or to harm other people or do something where it's not good, right?
Well, in any case, I don't think it's irrational for a child to learn the lessons the parents teaching them, right? Because they've got no other frames of reference. We won't forgive it. We will forgive it less in an adult because we assume that they don't purely have their single frame of reference of their parents, right? So the moment somebody has a broader worldview we might therefore expect them to be able to hold these positions on their own, as opposed to just assume that they're given to them by their parent. So it's, this would be the same for, say, racism or homophobia, or any belief. If they've grown up with their parents just teaching them that this is how it is, I don't think it's irrational for them to believe it. It only becomes irrational for them to believe it the moment they are no longer dependent on their parents for their worldview. Then they have to justify it on their own merits.
Yeah, I would think for me it would be not so much a matter of whether they're justified, is that there must be a line somewhere where society would step in and say it's not okay for you to teach your child this untruth. And I'm not saying that about the Bible or Christianity, but if you logically follow that it's good for him to believe his parents, I believe there's a line somewhere where it would not be a good thing.
Oh, look, sorry, yeah, let me, yeah, I see, maybe I've maybe confused things, but I think from his frame of reference, I think that him believing it is a good thing. Like his rationalization at that point is sound. His reasoning is sound, right?
Yeah, I would agree.
But that's different from saying that his parents would be right to teach him literally anything, right? That's a comment about what the parents are teaching, not what the kid is believing.
Yes.
So yeah, I would totally agree with you. Like there are definitely things that I would say society should stop and step in if their parents are demonstrating that they're teaching them. And I'm sure that would be the case for some things. Similarly, there are some things we might question and challenge, that the parents are teaching the children. And then, it gets gray all the way down, as these things tend to. But like, I couldn't fault the rationalization of the kid at that point, right? He's learning. He's learned well, and he needs to.
Yeah, he seemed to be able to repeat back some things, but
sure.
How much better off equipped do you think he would be if his parents were teaching him critical thinking skills rather than to memorize the Bible, right?
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. But like, I can't fault the kid for that. Like,
That's right. Oh yeah. Not at all. I just, I guess it's a little bit of a commentary on just how these things are just handed down, right? It's,
sure.
It's.
But necessarily so, right? I mean, if you're a parent, you genuinely believe this was true. You're not just believing it because you enjoy it and you don't really think it's serious. But if you genuinely believe it's true, of course you're going to teach it to your children, right? You would see.
I raised all my children as devout Christians, and I'm an atheist.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah. And all my children except for one are atheists as well. So,
congratulations on doing a bad job, I guess.
yeah. And I was devout. I mean, I was like, right. I was hardcore. Right? Yeah.
Were your parents religious?
We went to church every once in a while, but it was definitely my own thing, and something that I embraced and believed, and so yeah, and I taught my kids, and I regret that now. If I had to go back, I would probably not do it the same. Yeah, critical thinking is key to me. Teaching that, I would want to teach my kids how to think rather than what to think.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. But also, it's not an easy journey. Like I've had the luxury of being an atheist my whole life, right? But I've also never had to do that hard work of leaving behind, a religious worldview. And don't really know if I could do it. Like, I really don't know. I'd like to think I could do it. But I sometimes use the example that we'd all like to believe that we wouldn't be Nazis in Nazi Germany, that old classic chestnut, right? And if you can't recognize the fact that you could be there, then that's a worrying state of affairs. But yeah, I think
I think I should just have done like an SE survey, just go through some of the questions in the SE survey rather than talk about God with him. That would be probably a better idea.
Yeah, that would have been good.
In the video I recorded today, I literally busted out the SE survey. My interlocutor and I were point for point exactly the same on the survey. It was really interesting. I was kind of interested to see if it would be useful to sort of highlight the differences, and it just highlighted the similarities, which made my conversation with the gentleman even more interesting. He was a Christian, studied theology. He's currently doing a doctoral program, I believe a ministerial doctoral program, and he and I were point for point identical on the survey. It was really weird. But yeah, some of the language on the survey might be tricky for the kid, I think. But something like the survey, I think, is probably not a bad way to approach it. Or you could have just done Santa in right in front of him. Just rip the band-aid of Santa off. That would have been.
Santa. Did the guy agreed on this one too? With yours?
The statement strong evidence. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. There was only two we weren't identical on, and we only differed by, I think, one position, and I was the one that was more. My position was less extreme. There's a few that I'm not fully in disagreement of. Largely disagree, but not fully in disagreement.
Okay. This is the SE survey.
The SE survey.
Tonight. I have a link in the description of here called Street Epistemology links. If you click that, it should be one of the links on that page.
I definitely think the SE survey could be simplified for kids to go through, and I think that the online version of it, where you can do it interactively, would make it more fun. Yeah.
I'm going to try for 15 more minutes and then I'll back up too. Everyone else is backing up. I wonder if I could steal one of their spots if someone goes. Just that being more of a traffic area. Oh, I think they're opening the road. Oh no. Yeah, I don't think they are allowing the public in to this area now.
Sorry, ma'am, we are going to have to cordon this area off. We hear there are street epistemologists in the area. We are just sealing this whole area.
The danger of having your views changed.
Man over there is questioning your rationalization, your belief systems, and your epistemology.
Be forewarned, he might actually make you think.
Shotguns have been sent for, don't worry. I don't think the nod technique really works.
He was on a bicycle just going by.
Gotcha.
Hello. There's also a park nearby the beach, but I don't want to get sticky salt water on me.
Right. I still think a little foldable, little mini sign that you can put on the chair that says, hey, if this is empty, come sit here and talk to me about something.
Yeah.
A real cue.
Dang it, I had the music on during that interview too. Oh well.
It's not super loud.
No, it's still going too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have no idea what it sounds like.
It's the same arpeggio again and again and again and again. Kind of like that, but with the emphasis on kinda.
Yeah.
Hey, wow, my video's getting all of the spam comments today. Wow.
Let's see. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at your comments right now.
I've just had to delete, I was like, oh, I've got 6 comments. And I was like, oh, one of them is actually a human being that seems to be commenting, and everything else is some random horror spam bot. Good old YouTube. I'm surprised StreamYard doesn't integrate better with chat overlays and things, so you can sort of integrate chat more elegantly.
Like what?
Just sort
click
of,
on chat stuff.
yeah, but just having it like a lot of streamers will have like a little section of the screen where it's just constantly there, automatically posting messages. And probably not relevant to your thing, but.
Reed, sometime I want you to SC me on my claim about I've gone pescatarian and not eating animals.
Okay.
Pescatarian?
Pescatarian?
Pescatarian.
I eat seafood and fish, shellfish and fish.
Gotcha.
But,
Gotcha.
Yeah, stopped eating, I guess, mammals would be the best way to say it. Any land-dwelling animal, I suppose. I would probably eat a cricket, an insect.
Well, there's a lot of people that recommend it. It's good source of protein and very easy to farm, very low, well, an argued low threshold of suffering.
No way.
I'm
What's that?
actually, you wouldn't eat a cricket, Reed?
No.
I've eaten dry roasted crickets seasoned with like barbecue sauce. They're actually pretty good.
Mark likes the bug snacks, right? He likes the what does he had the?
I assume he just found those at the Mind and Body Show.
Just on the floor somewhere.
Yeah.
I was at the aquarium in Charleston actually, and there was someone that was had some. My kids were with me, and we all ate some dry roasted crickets with barbecue seasoning on them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, Robert.
Hey, Robert.
Hi, how you doing?
Hey, Rob.
It's not really doing very well on my
Good.
iPad here.
It's you're doing better than Reed. It's everybody here looks better than Reed, which is ironic.
I see.
I'm very blurry. Yeah.
His 5G is struggling. Did you see the young lad who came up?
Sorry, no. I've been stuck in traffic going through police checkpoints here.
Oh wow!
For the all the lockdown that's been happening from the protesters here.
Oh wow!
And so
where are you?
I'm in Ottawa, where all the truckers
are.
This is the epicenter of the whole thing, and so there is a very, very heavy police presence, and so I got stuck in traffic.
Wow!
And I had to go through questioning things to get around.
Jeez. Well, don't worry, you won't have missed it. It will be uploaded to YouTube at some point by somebody as 8-year-old destroys atheist. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a fantastic. It's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it.
You were questioned at a checkpoint?
Yeah, police checkpoint.
Oh my gosh.
Because they have perimeters set up and things, and yeah. So
What did they ask you?
they asked you whether or not you had a valid purpose to be where you were or where you were going, and where were you going, and things like that.
Show me your papers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, show
That's
me your papers.
crazy.
Yeah, it's very. They're fencing going across roads, and it's very secure. There are police from multiple provinces, RCMP at the federal level, city police, many police here. They had horses and riot gear yesterday. It was just an amazing thing.
Whoa.
God.
Has there been any injuries or deaths or rioting or any?
This is Canada. No property damage, nobody killed, no tear gas sent, no, but they cleared trucks and people and whatnot. They were interesting tactics. Kind of advanced. I would call them advanced police tactics. They gave everybody ample notice what they were going to do, and then they set up a perimeter and they just moved forward very, very slowly. They would take a few steps. This police line would take a few steps forward and then stop and stand there for another 15 minutes and do nothing. And then they would take a few steps forward and stand there for nothing. Just incredibly slowly forward. They would
Masterful de-escalation.
Yeah, and at all times, the protesters on the other side were given exits, multiple exits. They could just literally walk away at any point.
Yeah,
sounds like some of the police forces in the U.S. could learn a few things.
Yeah. So, of the arrests that happened, there were some skirmishes and things, but I think of the arrests that happened, you would have to.
What are they charging people with?
Well, you see, we have an Emergencies Act, which has been passed at the federal level, another Emergencies Act at the provincial, and another one at the municipal. So this Federal Emergencies Act is the first time this law has ever been enacted in Canada. So what they're charged with, they're charged with mischief. And mischief. Called mischief. Oh, you mischievous people, you. Oh, this is not right.
You're under arrest for being a cad and generally laying about.
Cad. Yes. That's the Canadian way, I guess. Yeah, so I don't know. It's up to the individual cases, but a person would have to stand there for a minimum of 15 minutes facing the police, and then refuse to step back 3 feet when they step forward 3 feet, and only then would you be arrested. And there was an interesting interview yesterday in the live stream. A person was being interviewed. He says, "Oh yeah, they grabbed me and they took me into custody." So, well, what happened? Oh, they said I was going to be arrested. Yeah, so why are you here? Well, they let me go and blah blah blah, and here I am again. And so they let him go, and he went around, and he's still in the protest. They didn't cart them away. Now,
so very civil unrest, then.
Yeah, but the leaders of it, they have been arrested. Some of them are in custody. Bank accounts are being frozen. Yeah. They raised many millions of dollars to fund this protest. And a huge chunk of it came from the United States, I should mention.
What's the basis of the argument? I'm an ignorant Brit here, so what's the gist of the positions?
The trick is that it's a coalition of different groups that all have aligned objectives, so that it's not a single group asking for a single thing. But the core group was looking for removal of all legal restrictions related to vaccination, vaccine proof of vaccination or any regulations related to freedom of movement or expression related to the vaccine. And all health measures removed, all just go back to a world where, well, pretend it's 2019. That's what they were trying to protest for.
Yeah, we've had the same thing in London. It just blows my mind. It really does. Just people in the streets screaming and shouting, saying that we're being repressed, and they want their right to spread the virus. I mean, that's essentially. And they kept saying we're not campaigning to promote COVID. But
yeah,
I just it's a really fascinating problem in many ways, because it very much is testing the limits of what we mean by the state and when the state should intervene.
Mm-hmm.
And people's right to believe what they want comes into conflict with the rights of other people not to have to suffer the consequences of those people who want to believe what they want.
Yeah,
it's just I don't really know rationally how you get to clarify that for people. Like, the reality is that the reason we have states is that so that states can act in these ways.
Yes.
And ultimately, if we frankly have evolved to need them, I think. Thomas Hobbes wrote the Leviathan, and makes a fantastic case for this. Without a state that can exact force upon us, it's. Oh, he's giving somebody the eye. Hey, baby, want to come and sit down and talk to me about? No. It's just like watching the loneliest guy in the bar just fail every day.
Poor Reed.
I know.
yeah, but Reed's so used to it,
In the United States, I mean, this is the main thing that I would assume this would be in tension with. What is it in Canada that potentially is in tension with that?
Well, the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, it's built into the Canadian Constitution. Freedom of assembly, freedom of expression are built into the Canadian Constitution. This is why this is what led the truckers to take a stand and feel that they weren't going anywhere. Here is the line of argument that many in the crowd were using. They said they're where they were and what they were saying. They were law-abiding citizens operating within the law, a peaceful assembly and protest, so that they were not doing anything illegal. That was their step one. Step two, when the police moved forward to remove them, it is the police who is acting outside of the law. This is their view. They in other words, they don't recognize the content of what the Emergency Act and the new powers that the Emergency Act enabled the police to use. That's step two. And step three is, they said that when a police officer acts outside of their authority as a police officer, somehow they become private citizens.
I felt that move coming. I could hear it on the horizon.
And therefore, it's just mano a mano at that point.
Hey guys, I got to sign off. I'm running out of power here.
Okay.
Talk to you later.
Take care. Nice to speak to you.
See you guys. Yeah, you as well.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah, that's. I mean, look.
There was one other thing. They said that if the police comes to threaten them, all they need to do. This is what they're saying. All they need to do is cite some line out of the Canadian Constitution, and somehow that would chill the police to the bones, and they would back off.
This is sort of the logic of the sovereign citizen, isn't it? It's the words are magic spells, and
yes, it's very much like a magic spell. That was the very thing, that led many to the conclusion after this line of argument was that I cannot be arrested. This is their conclusion. It's not possible for me to be arrested. So I can stand at a police.
That hypothesis. That's good.
I can stand face to face with a policeman with a baton and riot gear, and because I'm not doing anything illegal, they can't do anything to me.
Yep.
That's the line of argument. I think that's
these
extraordinary the line of argument in the civil rights movement too. So
yeah,
it depends on what they're trying to enforce, the law.
The extraordinary. The question really is what are the rationalizations or what are the criteria by which a government can invoke this extraordinary measures act? That's the real question, right? It's like clearly they cannot do this just to anytime they wish to, right? There have to be constraints about what constitutes extraordinary measures.
That's exactly right. Constraints.
Absolutely certain they would be.
So, so the truckers were free to. It was a party atmosphere. They had, honk their horns and set up the dance parties and bouncy castles and saunas and hot tubs and stuff on the streets. For 3 weeks, total freedom of expression for 3 weeks. While stores had to close. Because they would not want their store staff to have to try to enforce any kind of masking, because they know what would happen then. So many stores, in fact, I think a vast majority of them closed rather than have to face this kind of confrontation.
Yeah.
So it was kind of interesting. I mean, I really wish. I mean, there are stragglers here. Like, now that the level of temperature has come down, there are stragglers on the street who it may be possible to have an SC conversation with. But in the environment, you have to kind of recognize the nature of the collective environment that happens. This I don't know, this collective thing that was happening in the air that was promoted by the honking of the horns and the waving of the placards and things. It created a general I don't know, disengagement of what we considered
normative behavior
discourse.
Yeah, no. One of the things that I was talking to somebody recently about, who was a sort of critic of SE and a theist, gave the line of, we don't really ever address anything. It's all atheist arguments all day.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I said to that gentleman was, look, if the claim you're looking to explore is a theistic claim, and somebody is honestly asking you questions to encourage you to reflect on the epistemology of that claim, the person that's asking that questions is going to sound to you like an atheist, no matter what they believe, right? If they're honestly doing the work of encouraging you to reflect, then it's going to sound pretty much analogous to an atheist in any case. And it would be the same for a flat earther or a globe earther. Like, if you're a globe earther and you're making a claim that the earth is a globe, then and I'm asking you questions to honestly encourage you to reflect on your reasons for believing that, you are going to start to suspect me of being a flat earther, regardless of what I believe.
Yes.
And so it might be one of the reasons why it might be concerning to have an SE conversation in that climate is that by even asking questions, you're defining yourself as the enemy, or you will look sufficiently similar to the opposition as you need to in that moment for people to react to you in that way, right? Which is a shame, because it's not, it shouldn't be seen as the same, but
I had an SE conversation, or somewhat truncated SE conversation, with a family member on I think it was animal rights, and I couldn't really get off the ground. I was just like, oh really, could tell me more about that, and she was began explaining. So I was like, oh yeah, really. And so I didn't even get as far as defining terms when she said, "You're debating me." or you're arguing with me or something like this. And I hadn't even gotten to what her claim was actually fully. and I came away from the experience realizing that anything short of complete immediate agreement constitutes debate.
Yep.
Even questions to clarify what the claim is.
then they're not looking to challenge is insult, question is denial. It's all extreme every which way. Oh, he's back. It's a really unfortunate way of seeing the world, but I think people have learned to feel that way about it. Either you agree with me every which way, and I really don't care how platitudinal that would be, so you can just be fake agreeing with me all day. We're going to get on like a house on fire. But the moment you ask me a question and asking me to explain any part of what I'm saying to you, you're denying me as a human being. You're denying my right to think what I want to think about things. Who are you to know? This is a
one can be.
I want to say childish.
One can attempt to be, empathetic and listening as much as possible, but ultimately, one has to ask some questions, and even clarifying questions. Not even challenging questions. Clarifying. Well, what do you mean by that? And it's like so. People, I guess I would call it hypersensitive. How to deal with the hypersensitive when they're very touchy about their belief claim. Obviously, it's important to them. That's part of the touchy nature of it. So, the only conversation that I guess they're prepared to have are ones wherein the other person agrees with them. Well, this is how the bubble works. I mean, they're in a kind of this thought bubble, right?
People don't like not being in the bubble. Yeah, that's exactly right. It's infantilizing. It turns adults into children. It's really not a good thing. But there are people like that who I think that SE would need to adopt a very different looking toolkit in order to even begin to engage with.
Yes.
Because I actually think there are people like that. People that hold vaguely non-specific spiritual vague feelings about some sort of nebulous sort of thing, and the moment you say, okay, so what reasons might you have, they're like, oh man, you're so closed-minded, like immediately shut you down. They're like quite hostile potentially to this idea, and that you're just a negative person and they don't need that, and rah, rah, rah. And it's just an immediate like just question equals denial. It's very unfortunate, but I think there are many people that hold beliefs and feel that way about those beliefs that would be really worth reaching out to and talking to. But I find it incredibly difficult. I've never found a way of, because I can't, if I have any respect for you whatsoever, I will challenge what you have to say. If I think absolutely nothing of you and care no way whatsoever about what you think, I probably could just agree and walk away. But then I could also challenge you and walk away just as much. But I've never figured it out. I've never figured out a way of talking to people in that headspace. But I do feel that they equate you asking them questions to you being disrespectful or not caring about them or not wanting to support them, whereas actually my intuition is entirely the opposite. That if I really cared about you, I will say, why do you think that? I will want to ask questions because I want you to not make mistakes. Or at least it would be beneficial to me selfishly to be more confident that you're not going to make a mistake because I care about your well-being, right? But it's not seen as that. It's seen as,
Well, I mean, sometimes it's SE on social media has this problem because the person has they can leave at the click of a button in mid-sentence, and there's no kind of social norms around just leaving and just hanging up without unannounced, and or blocking somebody. They say you're gone, and then that's it. It is at the click of a button, and there's only one way in which it could be easier than that, and that way is also in place where the recommendation engines are set up such that the people you come across in social media are already been pre-selected by the algorithm that to be somebody who already agrees with you. So you're already the button to weed out the undesirables has already been pressed, not even by you.
Yep. Yeah, that's very true and very concerning. The bubble effect is real and dangerous and insipid because it's invisible, essentially. I guess there's a question about whether or not it certainly doesn't seem like a moral thing to do to try to encourage somebody to reflect on their reasons if they don't wish to. So it's an interesting question about how tolerant should we be of people who hold, let's just say, positions that have every appearance of being unsound to us, but do not wish to explore their epistemology, right? Should we respect their wishes and say, okay, if you don't want to explore this, fair enough. You're welcome to your opinion now. It's because for some people, not challenging something feels like endorsing it. And I don't know if that's a good impulse or not.
I'm wondering whether or not the skills that we're talking about here that are used and involved in SE in terms of the tools related to reason, rationality, critical thinking, etc., are these tools actually becoming less and less necessary in a social media enhanced world where people can claim a position? They don't need rational reasons. They don't need to have thought it through. They don't need any of these things, and yet can just pop themselves inside in the bubble or join a tribe, and voila, no one's going to challenge them. And so the skill to be able to defend your position it becomes irrelevant.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. People aren't used to defending positions and will just block you if you disagree, and no matter how polite you would be about it. I think in social media spaces that's absolutely true, but it's certainly not all doom and gloom. Like, the street epistemology community is not small and not dying off. It's growing every day, and people do love the debates. People do watch the videos now. There's this sort of there's definitely a strong feeling of anti-intellectualism that's been going on for some time, and it's certainly a real and present problem. But there's also a growing movement of intellectualism. I went to a stage event with Dawkins, Dillahunty, and Sam Harris, and my friend said, they're playing in London. I got some tickets. Let's go. And so we went and sat. We were really drunk, and it was quite boring, if I'm honest. But it was still quite remarkable that I was basically watching a rock concert style event, which was packed. This is the O2 Arena, absolutely packed wall to wall.
Wow.
With 3 guys sat on stage talking about. Well, I mean, one of the reasons why it was quite boring was it was like the greatest hits comments that none of them felt, there was no blood in the water, so none of them really felt the urgency to say anything meaningful or get their trousers off. They were just sort of sat there saying, yeah, we still pretty much believe the same things. It's the usual things. We'll repeat them for you. What do you want us to say?
Yeah.
But it was personally just encouraging to see the number of people in the room. I think it was, and feel the atmosphere of people that really cared about this enough to pay quite a lot of money. I mean, it wasn't even cheap. These tickets, I've been to the O2 Arena for half the amount of money that my friend paid for these tickets. So
yes.
We ended up skipping the second half and went and got pissed, but it was good fun. But it is, I think there is a lot of people that really care about these things and want to want to think about ideas again, and yeah, maybe there's more hope than there feels sometimes.
Yeah. I went to a much smaller version of that a few years ago. It was in Toronto, and it was Sam Harris, David Smalley, and Sarah Hayter on stage.
Nice.
And a similar configuration. That was an interesting thing. And after that event, people were lined up to sign Sam Harris's book, and he was signing autographed books and things. And yeah, it was very much that was a certain special time. I'm not sure that such events could even occur today, post COVID. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they probably could. I think if 10 years ago, if you were to say the sentence now live on stage, Richard Dawkins, and packed auditorium at the O2, like it would seem like a hilarious joke, like something you might see on The Simpsons as a kind of throwaway parody moment of the ridiculousness of it. The idea that literally happened at one point in history, I think, is hugely encouraging.
Yes,
I think Pang was it Pang not Pangburn you who was it? Was it Pangburn? Yeah,
Pangburn.
Put these things and by all accounts failed miserably to do it properly.
It wasn't for a lack of audiences. In fact, it was
that's exactly the thing. The reason it failed was because they didn't know how to do these things. They didn't know how to organize events. Apparently do crazy things like get insurance and things. It was all a bit weird, but
it had to do with the cash flow of it and things.
But the audience was 100% there for it, like 100%, and that's super encouraging. I think that we're in a world where people unironically will be spending large amounts of money to go and see Richard Dawkins live on stage, rolling out his greatest hits. It was just very strange. Well, I think Reed is.
I think it's Reed sort of packing. Hey, so Reed, how would you rate that venue where you're at today?
He hasn't got his headphones on. Maybe he can't hear you.
He doesn't have his headphones on.
This is where we. This is going to be the Reed's version of the Blair Witch Project. I think this is.
Oh yes, exactly. Yes. Yeah. When he puts if he puts his headsets on, maybe he's gonna. It looks like an interesting park.
Yeah. No, he definitely seemed a bunch of kids seemed to want to talk to him today. It was like I came in about an hour ago, and basically just was talking to some looked like 15-16-year-old. It was quite an interesting conversation about TikTok and the damage that it's having on people.
Oh, interesting.
Which was kind of interesting, and then just this wonderful moment where some 9-year-old came up and sat down in front of him and Reed in mild panic, checking that with the parents that it was okay. But yeah, the kid sat down and wanted to defend the truth of the Christian worldview, I guess, and it was pretty good actually. I mean, challenging but interesting.
Yeah. You have your headsets on, Reed? Can you hear us? I guess not.
I don't even know if he knows he's on camera at this point. Oh wait, why am I?
Can you hear us?
There we are.
Oh,
hey, what's up, everybody?
How you doing?
Hi, how you doing? I'm doing all right. I was actually just listening in while I was preparing some coffee.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Oh, cool. Yes.
Coffee's always good.
Indeed.
Yes.
Keeps you focused.
I was just saying a little bit earlier, Nathan, you'll be proud that I in a conversation with a video I did today, we busted out the SE survey as a way of trying to figure out where we were at. We went through it. We were point for point identical on this thing.
We could do that right now. I know how to make that work.
I was really hoping that the SE survey would help highlight where my interlocutor and I might differ, because he's a Christian.
I find that it does. Do you?
I do not think it was a fault of the SE survey on this occasion that it did not. It was really interesting.
There are some things that are like outside of that, especially if the IL is not aware of them. Like sometimes I talk to people, and especially when it comes to when we will change our minds, the foundation, the bottom, that part is the hardest. That whole section is easy to fill out, but it's really hard to dig into. When you're asking, especially if somebody is unaware of the desire that they have for a thing to be true, and they're unaware that that's actually something that's drawing them to put more weight into their belief. That's the sort of thing that only starts to surface when you talk about, well, what if this was true, this other thing? How would you feel? Like, that's not typically a question we ask right away, like in the beginning of a talk, because people aren't aware really if they are doing that.
It was really interesting. So I have it was my first video went up was an interview with this gentleman, super nice guy.
Okay.
He's doing a bachelor's in biology, a master's in theology, and he's in the final stages of a ministerial doctoral degree.
Wow.
Which I did not know when I started this conversation with him. So this was something I discovered after the fact. So we did our first video, and I thought it was going to be an SE style interview, but it very quickly didn't seem like that was what he was looking for. He wanted a conversation. And it was basically...
did you upload this the other day?
Yeah. So this was the video, the supernatural hypothesis video, which was with him. And so I now done this second hour-long conversation with him.
Oh wow.
And we went through the SE survey, and I did it, I filled in my answers, he filled in his answers, we clicked reveal. Awesome feature, love this. Flip the card around, and basically point for point we were identical. And the only like 2 places I think that we differed. We were differing by a very small amount.
Did you figure out his reasons and like divide them up on a pie chart?
No, the part of the interesting thing is I think he is exploring how to have conversations with theists, and one of the ways in which I think he's doing this is by, I don't think he wants to put his religious cards on the table, like up front and center. He's not like making strong affirmative claims. And so what we're sort of doing is bouncing off each other a little bit about where our philosophies might lead us. He basically, the short version is that he, I think, feels differently about supernatural claims than I do. He feels that given that we can't know anything, which is a position we both agree on, we can't know anything for certain. He feels that, I think, atheists are too dismissive of some supernatural claims. And I've been gently trying to discover his reasons for holding that position, but he's reluctant, it seems, to put it on the table yet. So we kind of got close today, but not quite.
Where I would go with that from that direction, because that to me sounds like a discussion about number 17 on the survey, which is someone is justified in their beliefs until they are proven wrong. It's a combination of a discussion around that and what the balancing act of true and false looks like in our mind's eye. Like, where the starting point for belief is on both a thing being true and being false, and how they're equal, and there's a balancing act here, and like how we're conceptualizing when we believe a thing. When we believe a thing, is it at the 0 mark where you have an equal amount of evidence for and against something, or do you believe it when you have more evidence for it than against it? Is that what it looks like? Are we putting
17
weight on our scale to move our scale, or are we believing because there's nothing on our scale?
Isn't the 50-50 point where is the optimal point where somebody says, I don't know?
Right,
so like,
but that's been my whole argument this whole time, is like the value, because I think sometimes he's tried to present the argument that, you know, we've essentially got supernatural hypotheses and natural hypotheses, right? And that, you know, maybe natural is more likely, but there's still some space because we aren't sure that, you know. So specifically with regards to the origins of the universe, origins of reality, he's sort of suggesting that, you know, can we not at least agree that it's not unreasonable to be in that 40% bracket, you know, even if we're 60% sure that it's naturalistic, you know, there's still some 40% space. And I said, well, I think that the thing we're missing here is the need to answer the question at all, right? We don't have to answer this question. And I think I don't know is exactly on the issue of...
Right. Where is I don't know on our scale? That's what the conversation's about.
It's interesting you pointed out number 17, anything, because that actually was a place where initially I'd gone far right in the disagree camp, and he went centered, and I was like, okay, so here's one we disagree on. And the problem was that he misinterpreted, or at least his interpretation, I should say, because I think it's not unfair, but like the idea that we're justified to mean we shouldn't criticize somebody for holding a belief until it's been falsified. And the question is whether or not the belief is falsified or their right to believe it until they've got a reason not to, right? So let me read the question again, because I'm misremembering. Actually, I've got it here.
That would open up the door to a conversation about knowing something is false and what that looks like on a scale.
Somebody is justified in their beliefs until
because that also is on a scale, right? So like if I say there's an elephant in my closet, well, before you look, where are you on the scale, right? Now if it's an outrageous claim like an elephant, I'd probably not believe it, but I could know it by opening the door and looking inside, and if there's no elephant in there, well, and my belief happens to correspond with the fact that there is no elephant there's no illusion or smoke and mirrors or anything, then I could be highly confident that there is no elephant in there. Though before I look, where am I?
Yeah, so the null hypothesis, right?
The null would be, and that's why this is confusing, because the null on a scale looks like it's in the 50%. And this is why our minds have a hard time like grasping this, because I think we're trying to visualize where we are, especially when we're using scales for confidence. And so in my mind, 0 in the middle, and then you can have weight that something is false. And you can also have confidence that something is true from that 0. But before you have ever investigated it,
so the null. The confusion was this notion of justified. Someone is justified in their beliefs until they are proven wrong. Mm-hmm. The framing of that question I understand to mean that the belief is justified, right? As in, the belief is justified until it's proven wrong. But the framing of the question, my conversation partner was reading this as it's okay for somebody to believe something until they've been proven wrong, right? And so that's why he went into the middle, like as in, unless it's been proven to you that you're wrong, you can't be really criticized for believing that you're right, you know. So he didn't strongly agree, but he just put it in the middle because.
So I have a question for that one, but what's your question? I'm curious.
What's my question? Oh, that
conundrum, because it comes up all the time.
I re-clarified it as just saying, you know, I think it's the belief that's justified here, not the person's ability, validity in holding the position. Right?
How do you put that in a question, though? That's the hard part.
We're not doing an SC interview at this point.
Oh, snap. So, like, you can put it into a really good question, though.
Go ahead.
Is there a difference in your mind between tolerating a belief and accepting one?
Tolerance and acceptance.
Are they the same or are they different? And how are they different? Explain it to me. How are they different? Is there a difference between being tolerant of all sorts of ideas and accepting them as true?
Yeah, I mean, I obviously I would say there is a difference between toleration and accepting them. Accepting them is tacit approval and saying, I should adopt your reason. If I accept your reason and I say that, if I accept it, then I'm essentially saying that I should believe that too, or at least I have to then square my rationalization with the fact that I've accepted your position. Tolerating it just means I don't agree with you. But I'm not going to argue with you in this moment.
You can ask them if they're tolerating in this instance. If tolerating the belief is adding numbers to their scale.
Yeah.
So that's what he would have said. Sorry.
Can one have degrees of tolerance and degrees of acceptance?
Well, like in this instance, it sounds like tolerance is being used to build confidence.
I don't think he was building anything on it. As I say, we went top to bottom. We agreed everything was exactly the same. I'm eager to listen
to it because I heard the first part.
I largely reached to it because I felt that my conversation partner and I were so much in agreement about so many things. In fact, he even towards the end of the video went through his objections to many of the classic Christian apologetics arguments, and argument from intelligent design, teleological, ontological, fine tuning,
all the standard claims. Yeah,
he was just saying, I said, because I asked him, do you find any of them persuasive? And he just said, no, I don't find any of these persuasive. So this was a really interesting conversation because we were just agreeing all day, and the main places where we seemed to not agree was that he held a very different relationship with the concept of the supernatural, right? And that he felt like it. I don't even think he was arguing for. The feeling I have is that he was looking to try to at least feel, for me to at least acknowledge that he can be. That is great. Read AskCam right now, by the way. Look at that. That is squatting for views right now.
Whatever.
Is what that was. No channel points necessary. He'll shake that thing for you all day. Wow, what a distraction. So yes, I think he wanted to carve some space where we could agree that the supernatural was at least not a priori invalid, right? Whereas I think he feels like atheism just assumes the supernatural is a priori invalid and therefore won't even take it into consideration for as a hypothesis. But the problem is at the beginning we tried to define this idea of like what's natural and what's supernatural and where do the boundaries come, and like we largely agreed on this idea that natural is what we currently either understand to have been observed, or we have a model that predicts that something might happen. And so basically natural just encompasses the sphere of what we know or what we think we know, and that there definitely are things outside that sphere that we don't yet know, which we could describe as supernatural, right, in the sense that they are outside of our current understanding. And then there's maybe an even greater sphere outside of that, where we talk about things that might be true, but certainly we've got no reason to suspect are true or even build into our models at all. And right. I think that so God would sit in the supernatural space, right? You can make a claim that God is there. I can't prove that he's not there, and maybe that's true, but I would say the moment we have sufficient reason to believe in the existence of God becomes natural. God becomes part of the scientific model.
Yeah,
that's what would happen. And
I would want to know how he defines natural.
Well, this is what we were talking about, and I think that made it difficult for him, because I think he wanted to assert there were these almost non-overlapping magisteria of this sort of alternative supernatural space where we can't really use the same frameworks to gain an understanding of these things, and therefore just by even asserting their presence makes them a viable candidate, which we can't dismiss on the basis of rational grounds. So, but I don't think that would be the case. I don't think that sits out. I don't think there is anything outside of that potential sphere of things that could be brought into the natural explanation the moment we have sufficient reason to believe they exist. And so I think that's where the tension came from in the conversation. But this whole idea is really the only place we were disagreeing. And this is what made this conversation so fascinating. He was like all across the line, completely rational, reasonable. We just kept agreeing all day, and yet this one space where we couldn't make this move, like he wanted to seemingly to carve out this sort of special domain where we could place supernatural claims that were somehow privileged and special and outside of our ability to scientifically understand them. But
I'm so curious to know what his disconfirmation criteria would be.
Again, it's difficult because I think he's deliberately not explicitly putting a claim on the table. He's just describing the nature of these claims, not really saying like, I believe X, and therefore it's difficult to say, well, how are you disproving X, right? Like, so he's I think we're just sort of carving around this space, which is really interesting. I'm hoping in the next video that we'll get more into it. Like I've suggested that we might want to talk about how he came to his faith position, because I said, look, you and I are agreeing all day. Like clearly there's a point somewhere in our relative histories where, you know, you've decided one way and I've decided another, or at least in my mind, I never made a decision, but you did decide to make a decision and go down to this religious narrative. But we're agreeing so much that I'm really fascinated to find where this point of divergence between us is. And I think so. I'm not sure if he's going to feel comfortable doing so, or whether it fits into his model, because part of what he's trying to do is learn how to have conversations with atheists that are more productive. And I think part of his methodology here is actually to withhold his claim explicitly. I'm not sure. It's just been a really fascinating journey exploring this with him. He's clearly a smart guy and seems from my perspective to be making a strange move somewhere, and I can't quite put my finger on where it is, but yeah.
In terms of degrees of credence that one has related to a claim or a belief claim, would it be helpful then to make a distinction between that which is possible, that which is plausible, and that which is actual?
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds really productive, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, because I can imagine things, but whether or not those things that I imagine are actual or not is another question. But I can imagine certain things being possible when they are actually impossible.
Yeah, and this is the problem. And you shouldn't have to disprove all of the things you can imagine in order to be confident that something else is. You know, I didn't put it on screen, but I drew this diagram of circles with a small circle in the middle called natural, i.e. this is what we know, what we understand, and then there's a bigger circle outside of that, which was like, you know, supernatural but true, what actually is the case, the reality of truth. So eventually the idea of science would be for the little green circle in the middle to expand to fill exactly the parameters of the outer truth circle, the actual reality truth. But then the whole thing zoomed out again, and there was this just massive circle of infinite size that was supernatural, right? Anything that we could imagine to be possibly be the case. And clearly what we don't want to do is have to start.
That's what number 17 is about.
Someone
17 is about the circles. That's what I'm actually thinking in my head is someone is justified in their beliefs until they're proven wrong. And like, is everything we can imagine the biggest circle in your diagram?
Well, yeah. Aren't there things beyond which there are literally unimaginable things? Things that are unimaginable.
Yeah, things that you can't even imagine.
You can't even imagine, yet they're there.
So the move, the position I think my conversation partner was trying to make was that in some ways these are not all supersets of the same thing, that somehow the supernatural was an adjacent position, like it existed, like I say, a non-overlapping magisteria, if you will, of a view from another, which is you know,
there's an underground parking lot there under that park.
I don't know what he looks like he's just robbed a convenience store and is just making a getaway.
There's an underground parking underneath that park. It looked like it was just a parking with trees, but there's a whole garage under there.
I'm quite enjoying this action camera.
Oh, it's big.
Going on. Look at that. Nice.
Yeah.
The Readmobile. Excellent.
Yes, definitely.
Can't believe he's got reception down there.
No, that is genuinely remarkable.
Yeah, that's incredible. So, Nathan, your little box of truth is going farther and wider than you think.
Oh, is it?
Oh,
Awesome.
geez.
Where did you see it last? I mean, I saw that Mark had it in his last interview.
Yeah, it's written into the It's written in the outline of Module 8.
Yeah, awesome.
You're gonna get a call from
That's so
Michael.
cool.
He's got signal in a goddamn elevator.
Yeah, how does he get that?
That's basically a Faraday cage. How is that even possible?
Well, I feel like I need to check YouTube just to make sure it's not all choppy and stuff.
It's just the world's longest Ethernet cable he's got stretched around.
Yes,
half the slider at this
exactly.
point.
It looks pretty smooth. Yeah, we're doing fine.
That's crazy.
That's yeah. That's crazy.
Well, I'm gonna bail. It's getting nearly midnight here. But
Yeah.
it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you guys, and
Yeah.
it's been a real genuine misfortune that the most exciting part of Reed's live stream has been the journey to his car.
You pack it up.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
no, sincerely, 8-year-old destroys atheist. If nobody else is going to make that, I'm making it. It's gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds great. Also, Nathan, if you can answer the little doodle calendar. to show
Yeah,
you
yeah.
Yeah, that would be
I
nice.
hope to do that here today. Yeah, I just wanted to actually do some SE stuff today, so I will fire back at the calendar. And yeah, that's exciting to hear. The box of truth thing is in the module. If you want, I would love to like read over
that's
it.
Why, that's why Michael want to talk to you about that.
Yeah, there's so much that I thought the reason why I like to make it a box is because it's outside of yourself. It's like information that's outside. And so like that was one of the reasons why I wanted to make it like a thought experiment about a box that's like right between us in the conversation.
Yes. It's a little box of the unknown.
And then also like the whole reason why the thought experiment exists at all, or like the reason why I wanted to ask it, is because remember we talked about how the foundation of the survey is like the hardest to figure out if someone is unaware that they would actually answer somewhere else. Like number 20, I'm comfortable saying I don't know. Well, like could you be wrong about that? Like if they say they're comfortable saying they don't know, but they're not, like how like it's self-reported, right? Self-reported information. So the box of truth is like a way of finding like an ultimate source. See ya, dude.
Take care, guys.
See ya, dude.
See you.
Like this ultimate source of authority that would tell you one way or the other, and it would just give you all the reason and evidence. Would you want to look into it? Like, would you want to look into the box so you have it?
Yes.
Somebody just said, "Let me in." Somebody's in the lobby. I don't have lobby controls.
I know. I don't either.
Maybe Reed.
Yes. Maybe
Reed does.
How does chat? Where's it? Hey, let me in.
There we go. Oh, hey, it's Anthony. What's up?
Oh my God.
Hey, what's up? How you guys doing?
Not too bad.
Doing better today.
You feeling sick or something? Were you sick?
Well, I've just been really struggling with like long haul COVID symptoms, really bad.
Oh wow. Oh,
yeah,
shit.
like inflammation all throughout my body. And really bad fatigue, like just that won't go away, and I'm just tired all the time. Yeah, and I normally like am highly active at the gym like constantly, but it was just like pretty brutal.
That's bad.
So, but I'm getting better slowly but surely. I still can't like do. I did 21 pull-ups on New Year's Eve, the night before I probably got sick, and now I can't even grab the bar because my fingers won't close all the way.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like an arthritis inflammation thing.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy.
Yeah, because a lot of people, well, certainly in this protest, they think that, you catch a cold, get COVID, catch a cold, blow your nose, sniffles away, and then you're back to normal. Obviously, the concept of long-term symptoms.
Yeah.
Not in the radar.
Right. Yep. So just trying to stay active all the time and take my medication. And it's also possible that it's not related to COVID at all. I'm like open to that possibility, but I had like arthritis pretty bad, like because it's circulatory, like it can affect your circulation.
Okay.
And so like my arthritis doctor said it's not impossible that they're related. It's possible.
Okay.
But they also don't really know how to diagnose.
Yeah, there's still.
It's all new. It's all new to them.
Yeah.
It's all new. We don't know.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Could be. You never know. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Under this. How did it go today? Did we get some good talks? Or?
I got in at the tail end.
Same.
After the kids.
Oh, okay.
After the kids had he had a lot of kids in the park.
Yeah. Oh, did he talk to any of them?
Oh yeah. Apparently, one of the kids wanted to talk about their worldview as a 9-year-old.
Oh boy.
Cool.
Yeah, and it was kind of like, oh, the parents.
Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
where's the parents?
Yeah, I can hear you. How did that go?
Yeah, I talked with like an 8-year-old kid about God with his parents like listening in. That was fun.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yes. And
They didn't rush over. They didn't rush over to intervene or anything.
No.
No, they kind of pushed him on me.
Huh.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds
So
like great
let me
parents.
guess. The kid quoted a few Bible verses. Let me guess. Was that what happened?
He said the Bible is a collection of eyewitness testimony or something.
A kid said this? Wow,
Which
they're
is
teaching
interesting.
kids apologetics.
Yeah.
Damn.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow.
Well,
So
Y'all continue chatting while I head to Cheesecake Factory, then poker.
oh, then
Nice.
poker.
Then
Yeah.
poker tonight. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
he's living his best life right there.
Yeah.
Little
sounds
SC
great.
in the afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
Cheesecake Factory for dinner.
Yeah.
Poker.
Yeah. So I just gotta say though, Nathan, Ottawa, because here up in Ottawa went through all the protests. So I experienced a very small version of what you were experiencing last year in Portland.
Oh, really? Some protests or?
Oh, protest, like
Mhm.
yeah. So anyway, I got a sense of what that was like in terms of lockdowns and protests and police and things.
Yeah. Fortunately, it's on the other side of the river from me, so
Yeah.
I didn't have to deal with too much of it. But my last apartment, before I moved into this house,
Yeah.
I lived right across the street from a police station.
Okay.
Though they were actually surprisingly like quiet after 10 o'clock.
Oh.
They were still there in like the
Yeah.
hundreds.
Yeah.
And right outside my
And
house.
in your case, it went on for months, right? Didn't it? It went on for quite a while.
Something like 200 and something days.
Yeah.
It was a long time.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
But it was more like once a week outside my house for a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was a lot. It was often.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So did you have to go? Well, no, anyway, I had to go through police checkpoints today, and just getting around.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like driving?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah,
don't
they
have
had
those here.
The
in
whole,
Oregon.
they have the areas in kind of. There's a section of the city which is in secure lockdown with major checkpoints and police and things, and literally fencing set up and everything. It's crazy. Yeah, yeah, for crowd control. But the other thing, Nathan, is the in terms of discussion related to truth we had a discussion with Michael about in terms of addressing truth, and there's the survey came up, right, and box of truth came up, and all kinds of bunch of things, and so that's why I'm sure Michael's going to call you.
Yeah, hit me up. I'd love to like explore my thinking on the box of truth thought experiment and why it can be helpful for talking about like reflecting on when we should change our minds, because that part is the hardest part to dig into if somebody is is miscalculating in their mind where they are on how they would change their mind.
Yeah.
It's a hard one to talk about.
Yeah.
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 Review video that we did where we went over the outline with Michael on that module about truth.
Yes.
That would probably be a good one to watch.
Yes.
Is it module 8?
8.
Yeah, if you
Module 8.
go to the module 8 folder in the last video that's there.
The last
The
one,
thumbnail
huh?
probably shows Michael in it.
Module 8. I went back, I think it was last week, because I was dealing with fatigue that day pretty bad. And I think I watched like a 2 or 3 hour talk with you guys on module 6. Maybe it was.
That was a while ago. We haven't done an ethics talk in a while.
Yeah. It was interesting.
Well, Mark is. Yeah, we actually reviewed the outline with him too. Now that I think about it, he's writing it.
Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna find out what he's doing with that.
Who is?
Mark.
Mark is? Okay, yeah.
6.
Yeah, we need you to fill out a doodle calendar thing. I don't know if.
Yeah, I have that
saw
here
that.
too. I plan on doing some SE stuff for the next few hours. So
There's some new teammates coming on, so you probably want to meet them.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah. I should. Yeah, I should
14 or
definitely-
15 people on this team now. It's crazy.
I should get back into the textbook thing because I think it's a really cool concept, and I would like to. I've been telling my friends about it too, like, because there were several times this summer where I was like invited to pool parties and stuff. I was like, no, I can't. I gotta help write a textbook. But mostly what I've been doing is just like jabbering about it. So I need to actually write some stuff.
I don't think we needed to do any writing, do we? Other than maybe coordinating with Michael.
Yes, exactly.
Sure.
That's right. Michael, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Well, that's where I shine.
Under control. We're now outlining the modules before we hand them off to a writer. So, we don't have that problem that we had with module 5. Was it, where we kind of wrote it, we realized it wasn't really covering most of the stuff we needed, and then we outlined it, and then we wrote it again.
Yeah, I felt like module 5 was it was most of the work I did on module 5 was just figuring out what goes in it, and that's pretty hard.
Yeah.
To do.
Yeah.
Like attitude. Damn, that's
Yeah.
Adopting the right attitude is definitely like such a nebulous thing.
Yeah. We're outlining modules 8, 9, and 10, which is really cool because we're realizing stuff that maybe, that goes in a different module, or we covered that elsewhere. It's really kind of helping. The outlining of the individual modules is helping figure out how all the pieces come together, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's been really good in that way.
I believe in the main course development folder, you'll see Rom's presentation on moral claims. It's very interesting.
In module 4?
I think it was in the course development folder.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about Discord now. The channel.
Yeah, I'm on Discord. I'm looking at it.
The course development channel. You might see the thing from Rom.
You get a really good presentation on making the case for having a separate module just for moral claims, because they're so much different than regular descriptive claims.
Yeah.
So one of the things that there's an interesting possibility here is that when we're talking about identifying and clarifying claims in module 9, is that we're talking about claims, descriptive claims of truth about the real world. Now this is the survey, the SE survey is entirely focused on descriptive claims about the real world and what is true, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's possible to have SE about things that are moral claims, or not necessarily claims of what is or is not true. For example, if you had an SE survey on claims about what is or is not good.
Right. Yeah,
And
that's what
whole-
makes it very different.
whole
It becomes
parallel-
moral epistemology at that point.
Yes, a whole parallel survey, not surrounding truth now, but now surrounding morality and what is good.
Yeah. And
could you produce is it possible to produce an equivalent SE survey?
I was just thinking that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, all you do is you just take true. So Number one,
Is it
a
a simple-
statement is true when it corresponds to reality. You would just change that to be an action is good when it
what?
when it well, yeah, when it what exactly? Well, it took us like 2 years to write the SE survey just to get the words in the right order in a simplistic way to fit it all in one line to convey the conundrum of that epistemology, whether that's for defining what truth is or recognizing when something isn't true to when we would change our minds about something. And yeah, we could absolutely do a moral epistemology survey. And I rack my brain about that all the time.
That would be very interesting.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Interesting possibility there. I don't think it's just simply a search and replace and voila, you've got a more from the standard survey. No, you'd have to really build it up from scratch.
Yeah, it could probably even be similar. Like, do I have a survey around? Oh, geez. I think
the truth section. The truth section shouldn't change at all much, should it?
Well, there's 4 sections for the survey. Actually, I have it on bookmarked, so I'll just pull up the thing.
Can you screen share it?
Probably, yeah. Let me do a new window. New window. And then go to survey.
I'm liking the background music, by the way. That's pretty relaxing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Let's see if I can share screen.
This is Reed's stream, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know I'm not sure how this is all working when Reed is or is not on.
I'm sure it's still going to his channel.
Is this right? Reed, is this all going through your phone? How is this working? I don't know how this is. You have to have your phone running all the time?
It's going off of a StreamYard server, so I don't really have to be connected, really.
Oh, cool. Okay. Interesting. That's interesting.
I wish I had mod powers again, because I can queue up the share, but I can't put the share on the stream. It's down here on the bottom. I think Reed needs to do it. There it is.
There it is.
There it is. Zoom in. Can you zoom in big time on that?
Yeah, I have a pretty big monitor, so. Bloop. There we go. You just type in your name.
What is truth? How does belief work?
Yeah, how does belief work? When we should believe and when we should change our minds. And so you just do like,
what is good?
What is good, I guess. Or you could do like what is good? How but then it's like weird. It's like, how does good work? It would be like, how does let's see, how obligation work? How does I mean, you could just change up these categories to deal with other kinds of
is that a moral? Is that a moral the third one there?
When we should act, probably.
When should we believe? You got a couple of should questions in there.
That's a should question. That's a normative claim, right? It's a should.
Well, it's a category heading.
Yeah, but one of
the other one should also.
Yeah. When should we change our minds? That's an interesting thing.
It's framed as moral.
It is. It's framed as normative.
It's weird. It's kind of like how a lot of street epistemology, like outsider tests, are a kind of moral problem we're handing to people.
Moral.
It is kind of like a moral issue. Like if 2 people are holding different views
based on the same epistemology,
and one of them is wrong, is it moral for that person who's wrong to try to change their mind? Like, basically, do you want to be the kind of person who's stubborn and unwilling to change? Like, we're asking people with outsider tests to think about how frustrated we get when other people don't change, or how frustrated
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the demand to change the other person's mind when they're wrong is one of the ways in which people wiggle out from under the outsider test. Because if you find this hypothetical of the other person who's used the same epistemology to come to a wrong conclusion, the issue shouldn't be whether or not you should change their mind because you are correct. No, you should focus on the fact that what does that say about the epistemology? If it can point to two different ways, that's the question to focus on, not whether or not it's incumbent upon you to change the other person's mind.
And then also like how interested or apathetic we are about it. Like number 18, the most important criteria for my beliefs is that they match reality. So like that one, some people don't think, and that to me is a moral thing. It's like, well, like if it's not important for me to know things that are true, does that put you in a situation where we might not be able to connect anymore on this thing, or could it lead to conflict down the road in other ways? Like if the truth isn't important to you, does that lead to conflict, or will it be bad?
Will it be bad? Yes.
That's the moral theology thing.
Not good. Right? Yes.
Would it be not good? Yeah.
If depending on how you define good.
And this is why it gets confusing, because we of course want to tolerate beliefs, and we don't want to, force anybody to change, and like, we want to be loving and accepting of people as they are,
Yeah.
Though we also like, are we interested in changing ourselves? If we're not, how could that lead to conflict and division down the road?
Yeah.
And is that good?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Well, so certainly there's some interesting possibilities that we've had in terms of the broad-ranging discussions here, and there's a lot of work ahead. But it's good. The discussion's been very thorough. It's been nothing but thorough.
Yeah. What, for the survey, or for?
Yeah. So the work that you went to get the survey to where it is.
Mm-hmm.
If we come up with or need another equivalent survey, that's also we recognize that that's also a lot of work, because it's not a direct one-to-one. Some of them crosswalk to a different survey, but some of them don't.
Yeah.
I wonder if we just need to have a shitload of SE conversations where we're exploring moral claims, and then examine the conversations, and then build up a survey from that.
Mm-hmm.
That would probably be.
Do we need real examples to see where we're getting hung up on, and then questions can bubble out from those conversations, maybe.
Yeah. Because
this survey kind of this is the result of lots of conversations, right? Where we've seen, this is where like we've seen areas where we get stuck when we're doing an SE talk. Questions that help you kind of navigate those difficulties. So that's what I'm thinking. Maybe we need to have just a whole bunch load of moral epistemological discussions with people, and then observe those conversations and see where we're getting stuck, and then build out a survey from that, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be nice to be able to just like convert these over, but it almost seems too easy to do it that way.
Yeah. One of the questions would be something like, how objective is morality? Or you can formulate that into a question, some kind of.
Yeah, see, this is where things are already so hard.
Yes, exactly.
It's like the whole debate of like the is-ought conundrum.
Yes.
Like that's why it's like hard to just flip it over to a moral epistemology survey. I mean, it's possible that we could. I actually love that kind of more like broader abstract discussion about the is-ought conundrum and like Sam Harris's moral landscape versus like the human Hume?
David Hume's, yeah.
David Hume's is-ought. Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's still elements of things that are still useful in the moral landscape, Sam Harris's moral landscape.
Yeah, I think it is quite useful, honestly. But it's so hated on by so many people.
Well,
I need to have more talks about it.
I know. Theists, well, anyway, yeah, there's a lot of controversy about that. But for example, you have to. One of the questions in a moral SE survey had to do with the existence of moral duties.
Like obligation.
An obligation
has to be a point somewhere on there, because like the classic ethical conundrum is like you pass a drowning kid in a pool, like are you obligated to go and help the kid?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So other than that, there's a lot that can be done here.
So let me look at the calendar for the making more modules. Also, another thing we should do is under course development, it would be helpful if we just extended module 1, module 2, module 3. Just call them what the module is, would be my opinion, like in here, because I don't have them all memorized. There goes Anthony.
Oh, give that name for the module. Oh yes, okay.
Yeah, so they're not just like module 1.
This is a task for the Discord gods.
Yeah, all right, I'll put in a request.
Write the propitiations to the right thing. There.
Oh hey, what's up, Dan?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey guys. Probably you aren't staying much longer, but thought I'd pop in since it sounded like an interesting chat.
Yeah.
I was just going to comment that one of the other possibly moral points that was brought up in Reed's conversation earlier is when you're judging your epistemology, when you're asking someone to be evaluating, like, is it good to not be willing to change your mind? You know, if you're like 100% confident on something, do you want people to be like that? Right.
Like that, you could just make that into an outsider test. Somebody else doesn't want to change their mind.
Right.
You know.
What he's saying, for a person who says, I cannot change my mind on moral grounds?
Whether it's about truth or morality, I think it would have a similar outsider test that gets across the conundrum there.
Yeah, because a lot of people have certain beliefs where if they change their mind, that makes them immoral, and so they literally, their morality prevents them from changing their mind.
Yeah, depending on how we're defining morality. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah, we was at a previous discussion about the difference between descriptive and normative claims, and there was I had raised a couple of examples from a book I'd read about claims of value. It's not whether or not something is true, but whether or not something is valuable. So if you can have degrees of credence on whether or not something is true, we use the two examples. One is musicians make music. Celia is a musician, therefore Celia makes music. Is a very simple claim on you can assess whether or not it's true from a descriptive perspective. It's kind of a trivial thing, but a claim of value is something like what was the thing? Musicians are superior people. Frank is a musician, therefore therefore Frank is a superior person. And so one has to ask the question: what is the value of one's credence on the statement, therefore Frank is a superior person? Well, given the ways in which what you mean by superior, what's the difference between one's higher or lower level of confidence or credence in the statement Frank is a superior person, given how flexible one can be about what it means to be superior? Right? So in other words, you're not grounded in reality now. You're only grounded in your definition of superior.
Yeah, by definition.
Right. So,
and there's a few different ways to interpret that question of what your credence is on that. So, because you could say, what's your credence that how much, in terms of like how much you value this, or what's your credence on, like, how am I trying to phrase this? Like how reliable you're assessing the value of that thing. Do you see the two different interpretations I'm trying to say there?
Yeah, and it seems to me that it's somewhat arbitrary, isn't it? How I decide to.
Which one you think is arbitrary?
The credence for level of credence for based on your definition of superior.
Well, it's certainly subjective, at least, but I don't know if people would agree that it's arbitrary.
Right. Well, it connects once in the SE survey about how subjective or objective truth is or can be. It's the same or equivalent idea, right? For a value statement.
Yeah.
Like superior or good or
whatever. I can see that connection for sure.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I'm on Team Sam Harris on this one, even though I'm told by so many people that he's not really a real philosopher or whatever, even though he's got a philosophy degree. It just his argument about there are certain brain states, and those brain states exist objectively, and those brain states can suffer, and those brain states can prosper. And we may not know the depths of suffering or the heights of flourishing, though we know that this spectrum exists and they exist outside in other minds. Given that, are there right and wrong ways to move in the game of life? Like if I'm playing a game of chess, and I think Matt Dillahunty uses this analogy a lot too. If I'm playing a game of chess, are there objective right and wrong ways to win the game? Is the question. Or to at very least not lose.
Yeah.
And if the answer to that is yes, then that would be how Sam Harris is anchoring an objective morality in a seemingly indifferent universe.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it relates to what your goal is in the game. Often, if you're in a game of chess, the idea of a single goal, the game, the idea to win is a single goal. But what happens in a chess game if, in the middle of the game, I decide as a chess player that I have a different goal now? I'm not necessarily out to win. I'm out to do something else. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know, move all the chess pieces on one side of the board or something like that.
Right.
And that's my goal. So,
and this is why it's weird, because it's anchored on brain states, right? So like, is it it's given suffering is bad. So like
Yes.
that's the
the-
leap.
that's the
You need it.
bound-
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
if suffering is bad, that's one aspect or side of the goal. That's either. And I guess the conundrum is the is-ought distinction. How can you know that suffering is bad? Maybe people have to suffer
Well, suffering is
for
necessary.
something to be good. Right.
Suffering is necessary is a different statement than suffering is bad.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I mean, I think that's a bit of a bait and switch. Right? Suffering is bad is your basic line that gets you from the is it crosses the line to the is-ought on the is-ought problem. Right. So if now you have some measurable ought state, which crosswalks to an is state, in terms of like scanning the brain. So you can cross in. So I can see what one day as technology progresses, one can find a direct crosswalk between mental suffering and certain brain states, and saying this pattern constitutes suffering.
Yeah. And then in which case you have an objective measure of it. Yeah.
Right. And now it works. Right?
Do you think you could ever like calibrate that for different people though? Like how would you be like this brain state? You know, sure you could maybe see different levels of brain state suffering, but like how would you ever equate them? Like how could you say that this brain state is an equivalent amount of suffering in this person compared to the suffering in this other person? Is that possible to...
I think some of the answers to these questions, which have always been philosophical, are now beginning to become clear through experimental design and fMRI scanning. One of the philosophical questions is, if I see a blue flower and it crosses a brain state in me, and you see a blue flower, what is the brain state that occurs in you? In other words, are we seeing the same color of blue? Right? And philosophically, one can argue that what I've experienced as blue is not what you experience as blue, right? Philosophically, you can imagine how that can be. Now, if you do a bunch of brain scan studies, and you realize that the brain pattern is the same, now you have some kind of measure saying, no, the blue I see is the same blue that you see, right? Only by this most recent experimental possibility is that possible to uncover that.
Yeah, so I think the thing that brings us into SE is I want my talks about morality doing SE to still be about what it would take to change our minds about it.
Yes.
Because I think that's like really at the crux of it, because it's allowing me to see the supports used to hold up their belief. And that so long as it's about that, like they're the meta thinking about how they're forming the view, then I think it's SE. And whether or not morality is objective or subjective, and there is no way to make any sense of an objective morality, the discussion is still about the other person and what they would need to see to change their mind on it.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that's really essentially the core goal for SE, or your goal for SE is to change? It's a change minds goal?
Well, I want my conversations to be about what they would need to see to change their mind, so that I can figure out their real reasons. And if I can figure out their real reasons and they happen to be of sound quality, then I want to adopt them. And then we examine the quality of their reasons as we go. Because I have changed my mind on moral issues too. And I've changed my mind doing SE with them. Particularly on issues of my diet. So that's one. And that was not easy for me to come to terms with.
Oh,
there's a lot of things that I had to stop eating.
Are you vegan now?
So earlier today we were talking about my health conditions. I have an autoimmune disorder. And this is where things get like really fuzzy, even in my line of thinking.
Okay.
And so I've been told by doctor after doctor that I need, because I have psoriasis, and it's like internal inflammation and also on my skin and all sorts of stuff. And the thing that seems to enhance my well-being and prevent me from suffering the most is eating fish. And I don't even like fish very much. Though I know that after I'm done eating some fish, I feel really good. Like I feel better. Like I am suffering less. And I know I had to suffer some other animal to make that work.
Yes.
So there's like this weird balancing act here, though I do think that animals suffer. And so like I either want to be somewhat responsible for that by putting down my dollar so that someone else can, you know, butcher an animal for me, or I want to abstain from that. And I, for the most part, want to abstain from that. There, you know, but it's not like I don't have to be all the way in one extreme camp or the other. I just need to minimize my impact of suffering on the world. So I'm doing that the best I can within reason, and I don't really eat much. But it's basically vegan, but I do eat some fish and fish oil capsules and things like that. If I can find something that would replace it, that was easily accessible in the same way, then I would absolutely do so.
Well, what is it in the fish, do you know, that like is the thing that makes it better?
It's like, I believe, and I'm really not much of a biologist, it's like omega-3s and fatty acids. And I'm sure I can get this in like an algae supplement also. But the thing is, I need a lot of it, like a lot. It's like a tremendous amount of fatty acids to make me feel anything from it. And there's like study after study of people who live on the coastal lines who are like symptom free, even though they have the condition, because they're eating so much fish and getting so much sunlight. So yeah, it's like a thing that I wrestle with all the time. Because I used to eat, you know, chicken every day and, you know, all sorts of stuff, meat and animal products. And I'd like to go vegan. A lot of my family went vegan just in the last couple of years, except for my mom, my mom has a lot of cultural ties to her food. So she's not doing that
she's not going to leave those cultural, special dishes.
Though I have a certain sense of empathy for people who do eat meat. And I know that some people do so for health reasons. And I think some of those health reasons are valid. Not in all instances, obviously, but some people have needs that reside, you know, it's just we're evolved animals on a planet where all the animals are eating each other. So like, this is gonna happen. This is the state of the world. We can try to make a difference, and we should.
Yeah.
And you know, hopefully I'm not I feel like I don't fit in either camp, which is why it's like this subject is kind of hard for me to feel like I fit anywhere in. But
I remember hearing a kind of a vegan sort of a debate where they mentioned, well, you know, how would that animal have died naturally in the wild? Think about it. What kind of suffering would it have? How it could have in the wild could have died quite a horrible death, given that in the wild things eat each other, and not necessarily in a humane way.
Oh yeah. Though in my mind, the whole idea is that they have their entire lives free to do as they please in the meantime, up until that point. And it's like just the death that we're focusing on. In America, there's like billions of animals that live their entire lives in captivity.
Yeah.
They have no freedom at all. You know, and they're pumped with you know, antibiotics and all sorts of stuff all the time. So
yeah, I've got a friend who likes watching these eagle cams, where they have the camera set up, and these are real eagle nests. One of them's Washington, one of them's in Florida, and places in this, and they're 24/7 cameras. They can watch the chicks and then watch the hatched eggs, etc., and watch the parents bring food to the chicks, including squirrels and rabbits and fish and things that are also wild, and sometimes, the squirrel isn't necessarily dead. And so yeah, it's nature.
Yeah. Nature can be super brutal, that's for sure.
Yeah. So it's so the question there is like, it may have been better to, in terms of kind of humane treatment of things. That said, I'm not a vegan at all, so it's kind of all theoretical for me. But yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Although I can imagine, though, for some fish products, there's seafood that's not sort of sentient. I mean, I'm thinking of things like scallops and mussels and things. They have no consciousness. They have no feelings. It's like
Reed's picking up his food.
What's he getting?
It's probably maybe it's
getting
cheesecake.
Cheesecake. Yeah.
There you go.
He's picking something up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then he says he's gonna do poker tonight. So that's what he says he's gonna do.
I think I'm gonna join the cash game. I'm gonna skip out on the tournaments for a little bit. Those are tough.
Oh geez.
Is the cash game happening now? No, I mean Reed's still
no.
driving.
Cash game happens after the tournament, so it'll probably be at maybe 3 hours from now, something like that.
3 hours?
2 or 3 hours from now. Yeah.
I don't know when's the game. When does the poker start?
The tournament starts in half an hour.
Half an hour. Oh shoot. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they don't stream it anymore. But yeah.
Okay. That's interesting.
They don't stream it anymore?
No.
I don't know what. I think he said it was too much hassle, something like that.
Was it going out on Doug's channel, or whose channel was it was going out on?
Reed has a Twitch.
Yeah, Twitch. Yes.
It was on his Cordial Curiosity clips, the same one that this is on.
Okay.
So before I go, which module should I be looking at again? Which one has the box of truth thing in it?
It's going to be in module 8. Yes. So
Sweet.
there are So you should read there. You should go in the module 8 folder there and look at the last video, which we're briefing. We're briefing Michael about truth and stuff, and we're going to be inserting various ideas related to truth and things. And there's some places where we can talk about how to deal with various truth-related issues.
Sweet. Well, I'll be watching this today, and I'll also be filling out the calendar for the next meeting.
And if you go through that video, and you'll find, and certain thoughts and ideas come to you about what should or shouldn't be there, and where it should go, and where you think, for example, it can go, reach out to Michael as well.
Sweet. Yeah. All right. I certainly will.
Yeah.
I think Michael has that scale thing I think we were talking about earlier too, when we were talking with Will about number 17 and scales. Michael has a really good paper written up on the null hypothesis and the balancing act there.
Yes.
I should probably find that and send it to Will, so that way Will has it for his IL next time.
Yes. Yeah. Look in the module 8 dumping ground.
Module 8 dumping ground. All right, I will. I'll do that.
There's a document there called dumping ground. This is a kind of a resource source that it can be used for module.
Wait,
8.
module 8 has a dumping ground?
No, module. Yeah, there should be in the module 8 folder. I'm talking about the Google Drive now.
Oh, the Google Drive. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's probably a
I'm gonna head off. Thanks for
Okay.
chatting, you guys. See you later.
Yes.
Indeed. Me too.
Bye, Reed.
probably.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Reed.
I should probably head out too. Thanks a
Enjoy
lot,
your
Reed.
cheesecake.
Thanks.
Have fun.
Brandon. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Win a lot of money at your at the
Yeah.
poker.
Good luck.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
Good luck. See you guys next time.
See ya later. Bye now.
Good talking. Bye.
Okay. Thanks everyone for watching. Until next time.